yeah.
Bridge now between Laboma Junction, or Bishop Junction. Be a bridge in the one. Who say, "Oh my, quantum me and son."
Yes.
Bridge in into be do one also. And traffic to be Bobby, but what bridge now need them?
No, he na me fa watch pa 2 Saturdays.
It be some say, it be Mr. Assembly for no. Oh for happy.
Oh.
And here they are better participate photos na ba wona ma wona floor ma yakọ.
Ohene so de me fa ho 2 Saturdays ago. Me say me free ho ntina me fa me free antina me fa watch pa 2 Saturdays ago na me fa ho. Me call Tesh panel. Ye ba no na ye kọ ne de fa the other side ye ba no na ye fa. Ye fa na me hu say de o kan ya mpa. Na enye ne omne ye ne omne te okro mo fa ho mo.
Na me do be ni soja fo no ko.
Eka kani soja come ayo.
Only Ohene or 7 do Guinness Book of Record. You are the first journalist. Only Sifika any soja is called Only soja is called Pope.
I use the
Teshi Uzo here Omukampo. Teshi command no say on a training school ni one.
Training school and officers command and so.
It's almost entrance na be 4.
Yeah.
Na station boys no wo 4 junctions ni
soldiers no
enti se car be free main a road ne ba onya unity ya na ejina obia o main road no so
the soldiers for na ba dia ejina obia so mo
private car o ejina obia so car ba ko pe ne ofriki fa no metwem
sa sanete oni soldier for ukrade so ukrade na mu anwa no he ukrade sometimes ya na me yan makai who's a barracks boy
and nothing else you want omukun.
So it is a practice.
There be practice where practice bonny.
No. Unko so jada. Ohene a practice discipline in the service. In the force.
They are giving priority to cars in the area camp. No see here in a main road.
Yeah, normal.
Road you see a private road.
Normal.
Amamo unse a security zone. See, yeah na monte security zone. Into a security zone. Into be bound him say be a military installation be and na be into on obi rem no be pie very important.
Can no kranka e be ma mo time we so be atwam
any problem and me ha kra magina because me tia say kata flag no so say be flag no so me ni what stand so but when the adjuka be be so say obi agina na card
oni big chance is ya o twemu a okura flag and so okura flag oni ka no
maybe okura flag
okay let me leave it there.
I say flag is
there be but eniema
there see a money price
yes
no indication be boka no me hu say
there be
yes security operations are any security operations are security operations your covert ones no in fact tag be ambo hu ndo what you do taxi that there be taxi that
be Roma engineer na
because of my military background enemy security background.
Jandam security. Akoriba Kuruma also a security expert. So the Obama.
So but so Kofi
Annan. Say security expert also a Gmail. Who is security expert?
Same way.
Who is Gmail also a security expert?
Mention you Obama.
Good morning to you. You tell me I told you video.
Mikasa,
Otin Sele say President worship no na ye de ebra we ene kosi ya krado kosi asempa e wo ha Prince we papa kobra macho monka de da odwuma de kosi
Ohene me da say player be our nations.
Yeah, your nations you
Yes. Player be on nations. Na Ghana Premier League game back ho e na oto atena.
Okay.
Enti oto atena no wie ye no e na okọ raw. Loko peja. Oh, in fact, raw just no completely. And na ya try nim I belong to Jesus.
Okay. Collins, but you infonina you can display it for
I
benefit of our
to
Facebook viewers.
Jesus. In fact, that inscription, it was something that he took. And yes, that is what he took it from Liverpool player Cody Gakpo, if you remember.
Cody Gakpo also was inspired by Kaka.
Okay. What say Cody the end season where
so it was the same inscription.
Yes.
I belong to Jesus.
Yes, I belong to Jesus. Cody obviously knew that he was going to be punished. He was punished. And Emmanuel Alonso, he was punished. He has been punished to pay 500 Ghana cedis, which I think is magnanimous enough. At least 500
so taking off your jersey already will attract a yellow card. And also you be final, but no, start finding co-player no.
Yes.
A co-club no.
Exactly.
But inscription na war a year ne under jersey no. And I
belong to Jesus.
I require an additional fine. Indeed,
yes.
He was charged by
the FA to respond or respond to BBA and then after charge no aba. And also after the charge the response
as about on his social media.
Yes.
Okay.
You see, until the response on anybody to come at me.
Or say, if I not way an X account.
Yes.
We an X account. But my friends, we an X account. I know E41. I know E near cap. And at I know E41. I believe it's a jersey number. I don't know.
Yeah,
Why can football players celebrate LGBTQ plus sexuality, but not their love for Jesus? Question of Obisa Enonom. Romans 14:8. If we live for the Lord, and if we die for the Lord. So, whether we live or die, we belong to the Lord. It's the kingdom work on the pitch. We and I know at the Abba. Very powerful scripture from Emmanuel and Obobo Edema Nations FC. Powerful message.
Yes.
Powerful message.
My contention is in two folds.
Okay.
You see, our footballers, I'm here education kakra. And you know that I'm a Bible believing Christian.
Christ, Jesus, a Christian, yeah.
Yes, born and bred in Assemblies of God. Yes, so.
But you be copy Jesus kakra.
I am. Inti, the words of the Spirit and we need the I know. Se oko ejume bi mu. Ejuma no won emra. Inti, I was say odi ejuma ne emra so. Irrespective of your belief. Inti ejuma ne emra no. Said the no. I was say
whether you agree or disagree,
don't agree.
Immediately you enter that jurisdiction and ascribe to do whatever you want to do.
Exactly.
Some rano account.
Also
with this.
Whether you agree or you don't agree.
Okay.
Inti imane ano ne yearning to profess Christ, is in good state. We are Christian here. They say at least Obia, also G-Faith 3D. On say these people are superstars. In the G-Faith in the also you are proud that, I bet me Edu Echire, so you become proud of it. But Ejubana all ye no mrano. Ebra sadie no say obeye bibi sa. Nti we are asotwen den e wo ho. So it is difficult for you to defend that. Oh, me a Christian, but Professor Christ into no. Most of my cry now. Me yeah, what's a mochimasu? You bet you are so. But Ohene can't quit it. That is for the players' part. But the AMBI, the hypocrisy on the authorities who have brought this law and are to see to the law being implemented to the latter. The message say Emmanuel Anodia, is it Emmanuel Anodia?
No.
Me say the all year no, and you're right per the laws. Even though obey by in his own capacity later. But say Imranity ani there, because Oba Jeff Imrani mu law 12 na dey nyina no. A brass idea.
And those law, no, a universal law.
Universal.
And you give before. And yeah, did I say from FIFA, CAF to the local association.
And I mean dealing with FIFA for no. Ohene. Almost stance the most hypocritical stance ever.
Why so?
Now, clearly, Mose, my yen display religious, cultural, or political statements. My yen display, and that the game bars that.
Indeed, Unim said interestingly, this law was enacted based on a Ghanaian footballer's behavior.
John Pentel.
After say Okohim Israel flag World Cup 2006.
Yes.
And FIFA and said obeying mra.
Yeah.
Want me and far a football so promote any political, religious, ethnic sentiments.
Because that time now Israel ne the Ecosia na mu pa.
Fibiano omumia mna no musisa mna no nti ne mna no ayede ne pa amo ayede ne pa papa. Kwesi yenko.
Okay. So now I've seen that this argument is also thriving. Ohene. Under no circumstance, if you are telling me the player that we need right, say religion, me prophet, and I say me don't know, mean to me and prophecy to the world, Ohene. And the reasoning is that Ohene, and yet Obia no ye Christian, Obi a atheist, Obi a Buddhist, Obi a Muslim, Obi a saint, you know. You don't try to use old no to don't profess it. That is, it's as simple as that. It's a political one, so can one
political.
So political, no, you cannot go and profess like your parents. I belong to MPP, and maybe I belong to NDC.
And as a cable top, be able to league now say I love MPP
and I love NDC. No,
into football, yes, sir.
Ohene, LGBTQ. Most of our views are political and religious.
Sexuality.
Ohene. It is even grave and graver for you to compel footballers. It is graver for FIFA and UEFA and whoever. So I'm compelling footballers against their will. So I'm promoting LGBTQ.
I know your promotion.
Yes. So I'm promoting LGBTQ. There is nothing graver than that. Do you know why? I feel, say, what makes it even graver is that for most people, based on mostly two factors. Cultural and religious. Cultural and religious. So, I am using three religions in our part of the world, in Ghana. I hear the three main religions I know in Ghana. A traditional religion, Islam, and then Christianity. Christianity expressly condemns the act. Expressly. Islam, because they are grave. Do you know why? Because the dictate clearly is that when you are found culpable, you are beheaded. Now, traditional religion, they say, so there are three main religions in Ghana, no? And it is more to cultural. Settings in our part of the world. That's why Saudi Arabia, LGBTQ and bomb. Into more a section of people you believe in it. In your estimation, everybody must believe in it. So obi a Muslim footballer. Your man the captain's armband no. So promote LGBTQ. I say me mo punish no. Because unknown stance ni Felice say me I don't ascribe to this and I'll not do it.
So this song.
And I say biane Felice ni no e biane feeling Felice. I do me nya dem person me promote it me nye. Mo punish no because mo force ni so ambo armband or so mo. It's not hypocrisy.
But are we not also confusing the matters? Because FIFA competition being wa omode LGBT armband say obi ambo. What we've seen mainly is from the English Premier League. So this argument may be correct in that setting. Say, why would Gakpo be punished for promoting Christ and be forced to promote LGBT? But in our context, no player is forced to promote LGBT.
Okay.
Yes, the universal law say men promote men be religious, ethnic, whatever it is, and a universal right that whole. And no punishment that whole year. Are we not confusing the two?
No, we are not. Otherwise, FIFA should punish the English FA for that.
For doing that.
That they are promoting LGBTQ, which is against Omumrano.
But FIFA nankasa mrano.
It is against. It is not against FIFA's laws to promote.
No, hold on.
But that's my point.
That's his point. But I'm saying that in the FIFA law, we had the preamble. One of the key pillars of the FIFA law is non-discrimination.
Exactly.
Yes.
So what
if
FIFA
you look at that law and say LGBT,
yes.
won't even discriminate against them.
So in that same so that's effectively my point.
The difference is that the LGBT under FIFA law no it falls under human rights and then discrimination. It doesn't fall under culture, religion. So it is about how they've written it.
Human rights. Human rights.
They know what they were doing.
Human rights. Your friend said the right to associate or the right to associate is not a human right.
It's a human right.
So if I want to associate,
the right to worship,
a human right.
Yes.
So if I prefer say me Christian, na my prof who say me from woman sir. Na me prefer it okay, I want to project that I'm a Christian now. Why is mine wrong and why is yours correct? You see, I feel that say yenya aja to say my yenya. On every score, let's not do it.
That's all.
But are you also not speaking this way because of your biases? Your bias based on your religious orientation, into ompe. But in that same breath, no, obipe. Into who you are making a case against is based on your orientation. Your orientation being a Christian.
What is bigamy?
Bigamy is basically marrying two women under the law.
Okay.
Under the law. Okay. But if a customary, I can still marry two and three.
Law.
Yes. Under the ordinance law. You can't marry two people.
Yeah, but under customary.
Under customary, you can marry two. So bigamy only applies when you marry two
in the law court.
But in the US, being with two women, whether I'm married to them or not, Christ is not allowed.
Yes.
It's against the law.
It's punishable.
Yes.
In some states.
Yes.
It's punishable. But largely it's punishable.
But these same people will come. Ghana, you know. Okay, so me there. Me worry too. Me worry too. Yes. But these people are coming here and telling us that John, brano, yin to was in almost for you and say, yin to. O question me answer no.
Yeah.
Say, are we not being discriminated because of me biases into me painting? And I'm me pay. Who there now? Yes, young pen.
Untimi mami nye wo kuro mu ho.
Who do I mean you krom ho? If I say bia ohene. Say bia me say worry too. Customary law, my worry too. Anyway, I'm penny. Oba customary ye me mo say enye adwuma ha. But omom there ye wa say ye yin too. Omo for say ye yin too. So I'm saying that if you are not careful, omo the omo pen no, and omo be share ye kon say yin nyina no, ye yin too mo nye. Ohene, do you know the kind of things that have happened here? Ye per se omo nyaji too omo do not even listen to you. Why is it that particular at the number say omo ebuana yaji too? Omo abrochire no. If you know what yan kwa na bia ofi ase na kwatra no, you know if you know what they are going through in school, in class, you will see how grave it is.
May host in New York, for instance, there were days and no man in Banco school because there were some elements of sabit on watch na a promotee
Yes.
In fact, they were orienting them say it is okay to have feeling for your Bema. Same sex.
Yes.
It is okay. There's nothing
It's in
wrong.
their textbooks.
This is what God created. This
It's
is how
in their-
God created you.
It is their textbooks.
It's not on normal according to school on that specific day. And I found that very, very interesting. Very, very interesting.
Ohene inti me de kakra inde mreno inti no. Mami enya wa ha.
Yenya Jerome Ochre actually a long.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've
Yes,
seen it.
I've
I've
seen
seen
it.
it.
I've
Yes,
read-
I've
Christ
read it.
of football. Christ of football.
Very elaborate.
Jerome, you're afraid Jerome now on my
Yes.
perspective on
Yes,
this matter.
but
Very
Ohene-
elaborate.
But Jerome over the years have he's drifting towards
Yes.
Christ.
Yes.
In everything he does.
Yes.
I'm not surprised.
Yes.
You see,
Me
Yeah,
anya me
you
nwanwa
see-
say
yeah,
Ohene
yeah,
anya me nwanwa say Jerome e ka ne ho asem. The next 3-4 years oba be years of.
No.
Yes.
you see,
South man is so no.
before say Jerome Bebem no. You see, your ensembia mati say judges and lawyers can say the spirit of the law.
The spirit and letter of the law.
That particular clause in FIFA's regulation say don't
Law
promote
four-
law 4
4-5.
don't promote culture ne sa no. Sometimes cultural contest.
Yes. Importantly.
So in
universal
yes.
game, there are other parts of the world that confrontation,
Yes.
ebi or ethnic,
Yes.
ebi or religious,
Yes, religious.
ebi or for instance, in Pakistan and India,
Yes.
they used to be one nation.
Yes.
But Muslims no ko Pakistan, and Hindus no eka India,
India.
and the Kuru split into two,
Yes.
and a Kashmir, abedani controversial piece of land from 1940s.
So you see, when a year dealing with a situation like this, you have to look at the impact of the person's message. Is it offending somebody?
offensive.
Yes.
Oh, so
It's offensive.
so Ayamra said that whole say FIFA say.
Yes.
There is a reason why I said a war FIFA Brum said GFB to me promote LGBT, but on our continent,
Omunye.
even CAF and yet in CAF competitions, Omo apply cultural contest. There is a reason why various national teams have right to put on an LGBT captain's armband, but kata omo say I'm not going to allow this nonsense in my country. Germany for now, omo threatening say ombe no. In fact, yes, omo to make
Australia for
yes,
Australia for some just near all black.
yes, but ukobo armband na ye betew. So in the Middle East, in terms of cultural contest, I'm not sure that Obibebo captains armband in Saudi Arabia professing his love for Islam a Saudi F charging. I'm not sure that in the Egyptian league, in the Tunisian league, in the Algerian league, Moroccan league, Obi Taria or professing ne love for Islam be punished because so say in that because say a CAF competition a FIFA competition it would have been different, but in our contest, in our Ghanaian contest, in our cultural contest, Christianity is a religion that is not offensive to anybody. Traditional religion is not offensive to anybody. Islam is not offensive because under our laws, because regardless of whatever the laws of the land are supreme. So in the context of ESA and Nyoma anase ye Ghanaian contest, Emmanuel ano message ebu FIFA mraso, but it was not offensive. Inti say because some check sa in switch town. Na so omo captain no.
But you say now the game is global.
Yes.
The fact that you have any offensive, I mean that it's not going to be offensive to somebody elsewhere in another jurisdiction because game no a universal.
Yes.
And they become Bangladesh and the Ghana Premier League. And until a general law.
Yes.
Also, there are some laws that are specific to continents.
Yes.
Specific to member associations.
Yes.
And the general principles.
Yes.
We a general principle because the game is deemed to be global. In
Okay, so on that same vein, in that same vein, if FIFA And I said, when you use English FA, no.
Yeah.
A check captain, someone bought LGBTQ. It's offensive to those in Bangladesh, Pakistan.
It could be.
Yes, but you see, at the end of the day, local competition, when they are describing their content, they don't think about the rest of the world. And VR interpretation, no, send a FIFA say no, and yenim send no to suit a local contest.
Again, I want to point out two elements in Komwa. There is the general superiority complex, and I'd lack of a better word. Okay, general hypocrisy from superpowers. So, for instance, Ukraine and the Russian war. See how UEFA dealt with Israel and Palestinian for the Now they could apply the same measure of force.
Yes, and you see.
Russia free all competitions.
No. In fact, sports. In terms of sports,
and only football.
Olympics,
no.
Yes,
some of the athletes had
individual
to compete on the neutrality flag. But
so
the same measure was not applied to Russia.
Tennis
to Israel.
To Israel.
Russian athletes, they don't refer to them as commentators. Do not refer to them
they're running under neutrality flag.
So
again, in the West, until Trump ebeba, they were suppressing the public mention of Christ.
Yeah.
So, for instance, you can't pray in schools again in the US.
Yes, before
you couldn't pray.
Yes,
in schools in the US. Okay. Trump and they introduced it.
What's on
it also violates that same Muslim God you trust in what in who?
No, the foundation of America was built on Christ.
And so why are you trying to? Why are you saying why the president this way?
So you see, Enuntina, Trump signed his executive order, or say this country was built and founded foundation of Christianity.
As if we are any US. MP as if for president as if for in because Supreme Court for interpretation.
Of course.
I'm telling you, of course. Supreme Court for interpretation.
So in having this conversation,
of course,
it's important we also look at the global dynamics.
Yes.
And not fall into the traps of the West. They are pushing a certain agenda.
Clear.
So we got to be a bit careful. But we also should be a bit emotional about this conversation.
No. Yes.
For me, I would have been more proud of the player saying, it's against Imran, but me didn't me match final.
Yes.
But that's why
but the player you see was ignorant of the law.
Clearly ignorant of the law.
Ignorant of the law.
So for me, I would have been more proud. Set me name. And so I'm defying this law.
Yes.
I'm doing it.
Why are we saying he was ignorant?
I'm not trying it.
Why are people allowed to promote LGBT, but I'm not allowed to promote Christ? For instance, nobody is stopping you from promoting Christ. Say, I
But Oshe test no the can hona. We did that scripture. Romans.
You live or die for Christ.
Yes. And not just say he's not ignorant. It just say and that is Master Muhammad.
That you die for Christ.
Yes. And I'm saying say baby Emmanuel no kwasore no. Yenye offering. Yenye special offering every Sunday. Anytime be obeshe be be fani bia yenkotua. That is my point. And I've read the
but
the fine is not cast in stone.
No, sir, and it's at the discretion of the DC.
So when your first time,
yes,
me
see, they be obey
punitive.
Me see, Ghana ha and sorry nyina and sorry nye offering. And he be a best sanction be a young kutuya. Because scripture no quote here no Romans 14:18 no. O kind of tree na dekwa.
Kaima me
or say me wo Metiasi o. Meti e di menya.
Enyunkwa ho. Metiasi a meti ma wo.
Mesi. Enti ore imanana
mo voice nye.
Ene ohene anopei waye yadom osi oni ye bekasa about this issue. Osi oni ye bekasa.
Man, no, is it the Togolese international?
No, only Frank and
no, Frank only wait.
Gokin.
No, that
Me say, where adom so oni ye bekasa no.
Ghanaian then.
And ohene the work nyina ne say he's not ignorant of the rule. Emra no de say wo ho. Obi anim emra no.
Kojo wusu the way aba. I support the FA 100% on this. If this isn't stopped here, very soon we will see people wearing I belong to Kusasi, I belong to Mampusi.
Yeah, and it's true.
I belong to Asante, I belong to Bono, I belong to MPP, I belong to NDC, and many more.
No.
We have 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Football is played for 90 minutes. Peace and our security is more important.
So you see, it comes to it comes to their Americans an example, contempt of court.
Yeah.
Now saying Ababa we are okusiu ni sugar daddy.
That never was nice.
No, see, no, see.
Hey, of how this about Cameroon can I say? Also, Henny, would the lawyer chi? My lord, my lord.
Can you?
Oh, my lord. No, Okufia could did. Now, Consa
So,
God, you ever got in here?
So you see, in her case, Ebanu air contempt of court. Ebanu air contempt of even in 2012 during the election petition, 2 people were sent to court for contempt. Bako ekofie, Bako enso den ekoje. So I understand the person's point that Ebanu ebe kakra no obi nso I stand for Kusasi, I stand for Mampusi. No, even in terms of our general law, no, because if there is conflict and you are in through the media promoting inciting one sider in our law a crime, because when the police IGP call no now utie office of the Attorney General anytime the Interior Minister anytime they speak about this Boko conflict, you know, omo kasa kire media na they try to caution the media not to give our platform to people who incite one side against because a crime.
Chief said at the mood we are back from the US. Or say, is the religious proclamation not country specific, same as the LGBT?
Yeah, it's exactly my point.
In a country like Ghana, where the GFA allows religious proclamation and prayer from players. Okay, I'll say proclamation and display prayers in its activities.
Openly. On video.
Why not allow the same to be manifested by actors in the line of duty? In England, they do not allow prayers in their football.
Yes.
And therefore, it is okay if they punish players who for doing the same. This cannot be the case in Ghana. And in most cases, when players display such religious messages in Ghana, no one is offended, and compared to other countries, the GFA must come again with application of this rule. I think that the most raise a very important.
Yeah, so I know I'm because the context is very important.
The players from Mumbai.
But I say GFA. Black Stars score camper. Amu ye video. Na bo players ne bomb pa ye. Na ye video. No omo da to abontin. Yeah. And I don't they do that?
They do it.
Yes.
It doesn't offend anybody.
It doesn't. So, and can say ATM brano, but context is very important.
In this case, we cannot be seen to apply the law to the latter.
Yes.
We must use our context.
Yes, our context.
In application of the law.
In application and
reasonability.
Yes, and our own laws. Yeah. Because obi eco display RTU player be akoshe go. Now or display I stand for Kusasia. And no, in application of the law, you can even look at the general laws in this country.
Okay, so Ohene, you ever say this same player in his jersey?
Ocho, I love my mama.
No, and I say, Boko, let there be peace. We love you. and Bibisa.
Yes.
Or is an offensive message?
Peaceful message.
Yes.
Yeah, message of
Will it be
peace.
seen as an offensive
Yes.
message now?
Because I'm sure that we can at a point.
Yeah. Oh yes.
Say. Oh, if second Premier League, a game be a ban. We are ban. Say, but could let there be peace, and I want peace.
I've seen instances where boy, yeah, microphone, I'm captain, someone kasa in proclaiming peace in a certain region.
Yes.
See, a typical example. The UEFA, the FA, they were in full support of some Ukraine anyway. But when himself, not Liverpool ball. And now one supporter is it a Palestinian or an Israeli
Palestinian
flag? So promote peace. So let there be peace. But say Stewart Baku Kokatra and say the club has not sanctioned this. The FA has, even though I understand the motive behind wasem na okano, this cannot be accepted. So for me, in this, as far as this issue is concerned, it's yambrao, but contest. And it's a contempt of court. Example, by and say the law is clear that contempt of court, you can go to prison for up to 90 days. Ube to me, akode fiase for up to 90 days. But there are circumstances a ukona ukoka wasem na ye to me then judge no to me can be lenient on you. But you see, obi question back one me beside say abrante no ye friend no eje nenuma semana.
Yeah, he was
He was charged and he responded. And then the FA had your both charges here.
We are the FA will have to come again because a chance and minty. If they decide to go strictly on this tangent, a china being so obibekwa akoye bia na bia the person's message, you know, is in the national interest.
But Joe, if you also take a stance on it,
It may degenerate.
na akoye na obia see any day or
Yeah.
but
But I think also they missed an opportunity here. They missed an opportunity here. The Omaye no Mrakwanso. But they could have brought more clarity about assembly. And I think that it's not too late. Education.
Yes.
Not just education.
The reason behind
how they want to go about this into the future. Because we are being national conversation.
of course.
There are a lot of people expressing dissent. Say they are Omaye no, Omuno Munyadune.
Because
People
we're a
are
very
using
religious nation. Yeah, Ghana, we have
Absolutely. And now in the application of the same laws, they must look at it and maybe the interpretation, they must be a bit reasonable in the application of the law. Even though BBT and the Ekoso Krumano, it may degenerate. Because game near Bow Class Stadium. Afcon qualifiers nibi. Na that I'm not guarantee demonstration cost pa. When you say boys in the banners ko one come some tisi pack was
it not yani Niger no? And Sudan.
I think Sudan game no.
and as a religious statement say
Absolutely.
wow the ko bia be
In fact, I'm sure no was really na perimeter no. Anokta banana no muso no mu. Enti yes ye so kakra. Ya ntimi amfanya sakwanso amma de we anye din a wahwe ni ya na a degenerate into something else ye ntimi an control. Ntimi for me I think the FA needs to also bring some clarity on the matter. Oma charge no obetua. That aside, a general law away books mu they need more clarity on.
Sure.
Nti my main cause of Jerome Ochiho Emra. John, good morning.
Good morning, Brenya.
But you want to pay about it?
Where? Now, some years so far.
Aye.
Oh, train.
And now, oh yes, Sempankeni. We just offer Sempankeni.
My dear, not too, but training and share me so far. I mean, from me so far, it's not a problem, but you know, I believe in order.
Where the asset come we do with you. Yeah, it is of the didn't say na ya am ko ba, I want for the dia gross aro.
Oh, me film. nyame from here.
Anyways. Yeah, buy it. Yeah.
So now you
Dia ba ye di hu nkomo Emmanuel Ano ne fine na if discipline committee dia bono say on 500 Ghana cedis if say we display nyamesem e na tadie mu and then chino aba ho we say mra and ebi argue say the law is the law. Any kwan say use football promoting anything political, religious, ethnic and hunka ho na one so argue say idea we there ye crew na team no ye very religious people there why no offend obi sensitivity enti e enti e na more passional me say what throw bibi on your Facebook page but let's go into the what throw on your Facebook page no na hwe se betime di hu komo.
I didn't hear the last part. Let's say Facebook.
I know you've written something on Facebook, so I would like to even hear your take on this matter.
Okay, so let me say that I woke up to the story this morning, and I'm sorry, me hear me quiet time na me hu and it just struck me, say, it's a very interesting position the boy has taken. I don't disagree with him in principle because so Obia Obena Jun say, "Obe sorry Jina ho, Amma Yesu Christo." The person will face the world. In fact, you have the world to face because John 1:11 can. The world has rejected Christ. He came to his own Jews, but they rejected him. And he said, "Oh, who say, obe sorry Jina ho, Amma Yesu Christo." Say, nipa bi be sorry tiawo. And we are number one. Number two, the American one say football a universal game. Emra teacher footballer, yeah, Bobby Wagana Hano. Uko Italy, Uko Brazil, Uko Azerbaijan, Zimbabwe. Baby Abekobiano is the same rules. And he saw your footballer na Ujitu Muse, Ubo Bola, Esa Jim Branitum. One teaming cassette, me a footballer, Aja to Muse, Ebo Ball. And so, football mrawe dem so unjin tuma me advice am do be ma won say ene men kom kra so koma you have to abide by the rules of the game e hona me ni imarela no enya dwen okay me gidi say ohia ncheche e wo nyema bi hu because you say na me kan no me nim Ghana Premier League regulation it bans the display of religious messages on jerseys or undergarments and those things. But I was checking the FIFA rules and I saw Law 4, I think 0.5, clearly states that. You see, I'm going to say, the game we are playing is governed by FIFA rules. So you cannot choose and pick which of the rules you want to obey and which ones you don't want to obey. The Bible is a universal book. The Oko America, John 3:16, for also love the world and he send a tear on Sana tear who be John 3:16 wa cry no pay the actual moon Sana Oko Washington, Sana actual. You know. So cannot choose to play football and go against the rules. The same way as if you are a Christian, you cannot also decide to obey Christ at one point and disobey him. To me, myself say me. Either say, double ball ne na, maybe I'm running tiamino. If I want to profess Christ, I'll profess Christ there. If not, me nyekra. Example, me ye dia, and na football no. Me bokra na. Be ye Yesu Christo niema, mo be catch me say itiamra. But so be ya, just say the world will be against you, and you will pay the consequences. Maybe we have to accept the price he pays for displaying Christ. But we also have to know that the world has its rules, and if you want to live in the world, you must play by its rules.
When Anape Chief said what the Mudia Basse, as if we are being hypocritical in the application of the law, if you say, Ghana Hayeti, ye bobo bia 2 teams in Bompire. If you are a Muslim prayer, if you are a Christian prayer, Blasters Crab boy, ye Bompire. abrofo na omo implementing the law to the letter no omo ho no mpaibo bi ani ho. And why do you choose your teams, allow your teams to pray before games and after games, but will punish them for displaying any signage that promotes Christ?
No. Seydou is missing the point. He's picking too many issues and putting them together and drawing wrong.
Okay.
So soon if he buy
from the West.
Yeah, buy. Me, I'm a Presbyterian. The Basel missionaries, some for him buy. I'm from Switzerland. So it's not true because ansana in your number what have you Bible no. Abrofo the buy number 3. It is a or try will say I grown up with the football. I give you football and start to Ghana. This is not an issue you can place in a cultural context. There is no cultural context to this. The context to this is football regulation, which is law 4.5. And minimum in football, right? 0.5 now. It even goes further to explain what they mean by the ban on the display of political and religious messages. Me, I'm a Christian. I'm not going to compromise on my Christian values. But I'm saying that within the same context of not compromising my Christian values, the Bible teaches me to accept that the world has rejected Christ. So if you want to live in the world, then be ready to face the consequences of promoting Christ. Scientists are now you want to promote Christ within the arena. You say, man, yeah, then don't do it. Because what did Jesus tell the Pharisees when they asked him about obeying Caesar or obeying God? What did he say? Give unto Caesar what is Caesar.
Yeah.
That's what Jesus said. So I'm saying that I'm not a sort of baller. You cannot choose and pick which of the rules you want to obey. You have to play by the rules of the game. They are not a year or is it nations? Or England, EPL, not Koyesa or London, you will face the same punishment. So I'm saying that there's no cultural context to this. The context is the law of the game. And the law says you can't do it.
But what about this not affecting anybody's sensitivities in Ghana? Because Ghana, a chief imam, sorry them a Christopher Kono, Christians and Muslims live in harmony, and even traditional leaders live in harmony. There's no religious tensions in Ghana. So does our context not negate the universal norm?
It doesn't.
Okay.
And I'll show you why it doesn't. The fact that you see Christians going to the chief imam to maybe greet him, talk with him, take pictures with him, doesn't mean they accept the faith of the chief imam. I mean, with all due respect, I have Muslim brothers. Some of my good friends are Muslims.
Yeah.
Many we share mutual friends, or we have mutual friends who are
Muslims. Yeah, true.
But they do fear that. They go to the mosque with all due respect. They do kwesiada na memenda. Some of us also go to the church. Our faith, that the fact that we are friends doesn't mean that we share the same faith. You see, that is the answer to that question. Now, whether or not it affects religious sensitivity in Ghana doesn't arise. It doesn't arise because with what rules are you playing the game? And what does
the rules say?
What do the rules of that game say? The rules say that you cannot display. You see, that is what we must all take our attention to. Me, I'm not condemning, because I just think that he doesn't understand the issues at stake. He needs to understand the issues at stake, which is that the game within which you are a professional, that game clearly prohibits the point you are trying to make. Say, you want to profess your faith. Yes, you want to profess your faith. I agree. But what then happens to the rules of the game, which you have subscribed to?
So now, Jerome,
And
let's question the general rule here. Same non-discrimination law by FIFA and everybody is promoting what they mean by a minority choice, i.e. LGBT, but says that you cannot promote religious idea. How do we balance the two? Because that issue has also come up strongly.
No, the balance issue again, that's not right.
Okay.
Let me show you why. When you read the FIFA law 4.5, it does not say don't profess your faith. It does not say don't tell us you are gay or you are homosexual or you are heterosexual. It does not say that. What the rule says is that slogans, statements, images, and advertising, equipment players use must not have any political, religious, or personal slogans, statements, or images. So you may be gay and you are playing football. FIFA doesn't have any problem with you. But the moment you go and write on your shirt that leave gays alone and you display it, FIFA will punish you. Because the rule says do not display those things. There's no ambiguity about this. It goes on to say, for any offense, the player and or the team will be sanctioned by the competition organizer. And that is why I see that the GFA did nothing wrong. Because they organize the competition. They are playing the competition with rules with which Nations FC have subscribed to. Because I want to hear affiliation fee in this animal. And the fact that nations have subscribed to those rules, it means that their players are also bound by the rules. So you can't go and say, I will do what I want. The moment you do what you want within the space of the rules will come against you because you can't do what you want. If you are looking at the rules again, the last part makes it clear. It is not why. Have you heard in any football world that a player has been punished because he's a Christian, or a player has been punished because he's a Muslim, or a player has been punished because he's an atheist? No, this rule is not about that. This rule is about expressing religious or political beliefs in a way FIFA says you cannot. Yasha football na mi hu say player bi a go why a sign of the cross they show the card that. Because the rule does not talk about making the sign of the cross. The rule says if you put an image of a religion on your shirt and display it, it's against the rule. You see, almost kasa about cultural context, a reconciliation of our culture, beliefs, and religion against this rule. Then don't go and play football. You cannot go and play football. In my article, I alluded to something. Okay, the book of Matthew chapter 5, verses 28 to 29. What does Jesus talk about? Jesus says that if you look after a woman, like if you lustfully look at a woman, you have committed adultery. But go into the porn world. What do they do there? What they are doing there is against what the Bible says.
Yeah.
And do you think that, excuse me to say, no disrespect to the Catholic faith, but do you think that if you are a Roman sister and you go there with your Bible and you want to do the kind of things they are doing, but you don't want to strip, they will allow you to do it?
Yeah,
they will not allow you to do it because that's not how they do it. I'm just saying that I'm a Christian. I will pay the price for professing my faith. And you should know this, number one. Also know that what you have signed up to has certain rules. If you're not prepared to go by the rules, then don't go there. But if you go there, then you pay the price. And that's why Arno has been punished. And if he does it again, he will be punished. Because at the end of woman, Sa no mo se omo ye omo ade. Nti person we ye wade in a way contrary to how they do their things, then they are going to have problems with you. I think that the best approach for all, and maybe this is an advice to all Christian footballers, it's a business. I don't think God is against football. From all my reading of the Bible, I have not come across any business or anything that says that football is a sin. Football is not a sin. But the kind of things you do with or in football can be sinful. So play your football, but also obey the rules of the game. If any of the rules contradict your faith, then quit. Because if you don't quit, they will always come at you. That will be my approach. And I have seen Christian footballers. I mean, maybe I'm not permitted to mention their names, but when I was at Protocol, who will come to camp with Bibles, who will read Bibles, who sabi ibinum kofa maybe omfo say any omu faith in Nigeria, they won't be part of it. If I have their permission, I can mention their names to you. There were things people brought to camp they didn't take because they don't believe in those things.
Oh, but so we
oh no, but say one say no be an or be over person in the radio so. But I know me ben share kwan share two protocol players are near me fa juju huni sabi abosum sam ni sanema o de fa omo fetia omo dan etia omo no benya se because it is not part of their religious beliefs. But you see, enokwane private. They don't bring it to the team. For instance, let me give you an example. They do fiada, they were camper. Muslims are allowed to pray their prayers. They do the other days, especially Sundays. Christians are also allowed to pray their prayers because Protocol is not a religious institution. Protocol is a football club, and Protocol made that space for religious diversity. I think football also makes the space for religious diversity because this rule is not about Christianity. If Obi Kotro, Allah is great, no prija, it doesn't mean the rule is against Islam. The rule is against the display of religious messages. So it can be religious messages from, let's say, Buddhism, and you'll be punished. It doesn't mean FIFA is against worshiping Buddha. FIFA is against displaying religious messages. And I think it is for the sanity of the game because Brenya, can you imagine what will happen if, for instance, the nature of football teams we have, where players come from diverse religious backgrounds, everybody has a religious message under their shirt and they are displaying it. Do you know what will happen? Religion. Religious studies. So I understand some of these things. Religion brings strife. It can easily lead to conflict. You have to be careful when you are discussing or handling religious issues.
Okay.
And that is why I think FIFA has a standard rule. I believe, and I'm so convinced, say, if we control on just say, leave gays alone. Now display FIFA will punish that person because it is a political message. Let us not confuse the issues. This is very clear. The context is football and its rules. If you sign up to the rules, you cannot come back and say, then leave the game. But if you won't leave the game, now you continue to flout the rules of the game, then you'll be punished for it.
Chief said that they move from the USA or no one yardjune into or Homano so Mamintin Argentina member houses. So I busy Sudia. I mean, you can listen in and.
Oh no. Okay. I'm okay.
Okay, sure. Adam, good morning. Chief, what do you mean? Hello, Adamu. Okay. Okay, so when we get him, we will try and get his take on this matter. We will try and reconnect with him again. Gentlemen, that's it for your time. I'm sure, sir, we are by Besaba Injilimu.
Yo, Minya.
Okay. Wait, I better try to say, Benya, Chief Cedar de Moon, so the counter views at their brain with you. So, and the present worship, no, and our confusion, to me, Abba. We would go for a quick break. Bye, but to you, so, Bessia.
This is the home of champions. Charlie, today be my lucky day. I just download the Betika app for Google Play Store. Where I do some small deposits. No, boom! Betika dash me 100% free bet. Free day paper. So me, I place my bet sharp. I no go door. As in, so make you no slack. Download the Betika app now and grab your free bet. Remember, terms and conditions apply.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Bet responsibly, not for persons below age 18. Gaming can be addictive.
When I day home and want something quick to chop, everything day inside, groundnuts, milk and sugar. I only need some water, so kiss made easy. Kivokari make Kivokari for your office, boarding house. Kivokari everything day inside, groundnuts, milk and sugar. I only
Kivo 4-in-1 Gary mix. Soakings are easy. This advert is FDA approved.
You just got added to the GoTV Best Football Friends chat group. Let's go. Final. It's finals time and all the biggest players are in it to win it. Catch every Premier League, La Liga, Serie A, Champions League, FA Cup, Europa League, Conference League. To cut the long voice note short, you know who'll be there for you when you need to watch the finals. Stay connected to catch all the biggest football finals with your best football friend. GoTV. Love it.
Intention 7 I say na I am farmer on sama eba and so Emma it's for Joelison and I'm in semi ebre metinemu ediama kweku answer all bright. Ghana's 5-star commentator and I'm metinemu amana made 7 eba and the second semi-final game in the Air Championship playoff no eba so our Stadium of Light we brought Sunderland and Air Coventry City edit so na game no FA pa. Na first leg no Sunderland share Coventry City by 2-1. Na endra game no a brand from Mason Clark atwatena baako edema Coventry City and until 90 minutes no Coventry win a game. Nemo the final kick of the game before extra time and a brand from Daniel Ballard or Pem corner kick say wa Sunderland for oma qualify omuko Pem Wembley omone Sheffield United and the the Championship playoff final no na ya share obi a obebe in the English Premier League. Now, and a Sunderland manager IFN Lee Breeze and so any two just say victory there Nedimpa.
They never give up. They are always connected. So it's really a special character within the team. And even when we are not really good with the ball, we are still hard to beat. And so it's tough. Can wait until something will change the dynamic. And it was the case. So because of this togetherness, this character, we can stay in the game.
And Sama Sunderland manager IFN early brace edit to ja na osanso edit to ja say semi final me Tumi a qualify no here mo the year perfect say Coventry mo game ankasa.
Fantastic, and just at the end, this late equalizer for the final. I think for the fans, for everyone who likes Sunderland, probably it was the most powerful scenario to enjoy until the end. But as a coach, it was tough because I think we were probably nervous with 1-0 up after the first leg. Between two attitudes: do we need to attack? Do we need to defend? So I think it was tough, and to be fair, Coventry were good. So they controlled the game, scored. I think it was deserved, even if we had 2 or 3 chances to kill the game. And after that, the game changed because probably the feeling was different. We made a couple of changes as well to balance the team in another shape. And it worked well. I think we dominated the extra time period. And probably we deserved to score at that moment.
and some Sunderland manager I from Early Brice to Frank Lampard and a manager Edema Coventry City and all the two say a game no unfortunate because 2 legs boy Coventry above Parliament to me and qualify just unfortunate.
Firstly, congratulations, Sunderland. They go to the final. But immense pride that I've got in my players. Over the 2 games, anyone who watches the 2 games dominated at home, dominated the game for possession. We know mistake and they score, etc. But dominated that game, and I think dominated huge periods of this game. Played, controlled second half, wave after wave of control and attack and control. And players are giving everything from where we've come from. 17th in the league in December. Players have been brilliant in the second half of the season. We're competing with the parachute teams in terms of where we finish with the top few in the league week after week, game after game. Came here with absolute bravery to play the way we play. If you talk about them being a low, they had to concede to us because of the way we played, the way the lads controlled the game. They don't deserve it, the players.
And some Coventry manager Frank Lampard and 2 no Sanso and 2 say any team ball na the players no performance but overall or disappointed said the final kick of the game penalties and a Sunderland equalizer na qualify.
Yeah, I didn't have to say much to them because the players were doing it. You know, they owned it on the pitch. They owned it up until extra time. They owned it the second half. It was like the crowd was dead quiet. They understood that a team was coming and taking control on their home play. So into extra time, a bit the same. They pushed in the second half of extra time. We were tired. They were tired. So then the game becomes a little bit more of a toss of a coin. But we're at the stage where we're sort of thinking about penalties, and then that happens. And you've got to defend the corner. But the big laddies had a great couple of games for them. Their best player probably over the 2 games because he had to be. Scores a goal. So you know, it's cruel, but I can't think of anything but pride for the season and for tonight.
And in summer, Frank Lampard, 82 na Endra Ruben Amorim and so prepare for the finals of the UEFA Europa League against Tottenham Hotspurs. And an interview on Sky, Ruben Amorim 82 say Manchester United players in the entire team so muhu team na omo managing team na omo DH na omo ye adwuma team say team no eso eno nti so omo bobo they have to play like Manchester United.
Lived moments that we don't have confidence, but that feeling that I'm talking about, like to fight until the end, the way we face competition, it's not okay to lose. It's not okay to draw. It doesn't matter if we can change our position on the league in the league or not. That feeling is nothing about confidence. It's about the belief and the understanding that we are in Manchester United and we don't want to be the worst in the league. And our position it's unacceptable. And for me, that is not lack of confidence, it's lack of something more profound.
And in summer, Ruben Amorim made 2 no so see him found 2 Man United fans and him say no, Omo Bobo na they are going to compete and compete well.
Not worry about the momentum for the final. The final is a different game. It doesn't matter the momentum because Tottenham is living more or less the same that we are living. For me, it's the way we face competition. It's the way we understand that we are Manchester United. That is nothing. It's hard to understand that we don't have nothing to fight for in this game, Premier Leagues. That is so hard to understand that we are just okay by not performing, and that is something. It is not about the momentum. It's so much profound than that. That for me, it's hard to explain because for me, it's so clear.
And in summer, Man United manager Ruben Amorim 82 na ye run sem from no na a brand say from Taiwo Awunini oya Nigeria ni no sabia me no ka say empanifo e de na ko in omo place into induced coma if you say a brand no suffer serious abdominal injury na Nottingham Forest game omo ni Leicester City boy no a brand enya ya sabia e make say de Taiwo Awunini empanifo they place him into Belgium on also the Mohamed Kudus and so Ghana ni abrantia on no West Ham United and on also Esiaka Edemo Kudus and so a complete 87 take-ons made a one step to him then like father like son Cristiano Ronaldo and so Etwitia na obone ba Cristiano Ronaldo Jr. Abaso for making his debut in the Portuguese under 15 team and also a wholesome and eba. Now when say Endra Abrantiano Anasa Kodano ɛhyɛ papa number 7 jersey na all continue the legacy. Yes, obo no kakra obehu na we making a debut na obo yes o papa bobra sa na won so we di o papa di no ho sa ɛno ɛna Cristiano Junior ɔno nso Everton 24 ɛsɛ yɛn fan to just say ɔmo last game ɔmo bɛbɔ in the 2025-2026 season Goodison Park and the home venue ɛde ama ɔmo mban team no enti ɛno nso yɛn sɛ nso Roberto De Zerbi enso agade Olympic de Marseille say omo di omo kopiemu in the UEFA Champions League and until next year no Olympic de Marseille enso ebebo UEFA Champions League ni bia France no ebo Roberto De Zerbi abaso pass De Zerbi yenye wudeni uye boy De Zerbi yenye wudeni uye boy and until opening so Jenny Samba Hoa and no one Sam's Eba. Now when him say Real Madrid this is ye afibi sign senior Barcelona Achomo apa Masum left right center back and Tony Cruz the cruise control see a fan to say Real Madrid will return and it say and then obidi yaba chede nyami gudu sheshe na dono yes and sema Tony Cruz as a fan to na Madrid 490 say and then obi diaba Barcelona for diaba munye ko onyame kam ho if you say next season Real Madrid are going to be stronger than say no more no now Rafinha abrantie and so former this year Rafinha enyano say juju and wakojo say deyo dia Rafinha den nsabeka bia no whatever he touches tend to go and or see fan to just say asena amanfo kasa na Rafinha Ballon d'Or no ubetumi age o se enkanto obi amanenti se ono nadwen eni Ballon d'Or so Ballon d'Or ho nsem ehia no de hia na no se Obwa ama football club Barcelona enso ometumi ayeden omakonkan no magigi nkru wan bi na misi Rafinha wo yado for Ballon d'Or ho a wo se wo mpe afibi yesam na Don Fabio Capello enso manager edwuma no oyeye ni ye except say oba the Three Lions of England no na ne modem form ye pa na Don Fabio Capello si fan tuja say 2025 Ballon d'Or no say ono or vote pa na nkokwa koto a obeto am abrante efa no Lamine Yamal because this season there has not been a better player than abrante efa no Lamine Yamal na abrante efa no Florian Wirtz na Manchester City for no jumo mo pese o mo de no Arsenal for one say maso be se pa because we are Arsenal ni na say na Patrice Evra kan no wo twen ASS season 4 and so ebeba sign is a Manchester City no emu ehu pa na wonim say abrante efon Florian Wirtz and cry and saka and sen central for ehu no say onenenam Etihad ho Florian Wirtz enenam ho a ono so anshana wakwa sign contract no de ama Manchester City boboko no na abrante IFN DNA Hilson and also enkra eba say both Liverpool and Chelsea Omaya Crado say abrante no ni release clause no omo ebekwa kotua se Madrid for omo la passa sa de no omo pe so omo mpa yes Liverpool ni Chelsea omo teta ho a omo ni abrante no ni mpani for ne busuafo ne wofa edi nkomo se Madrid enyo madwen so omo pe na omo Chelsea and I say Liverpool no omo betumi akwa trigger abrante ne release clause a omo bekwa akofan na wonim se Kawoka enso de nsem bia betudwa na Kawoka say na mo Liverpool for me ntimasi o mo Liverpool fans na mo di Trent Alexander-Arnold atem no o se yem bi Liverpool fans say mo hwan kra na mo amoya supporters yi se Madrid the application ba se mo mfele na mo mbeye Real Madrid fans mumu hwan ena beka se omunko ose yenka na obia nka maniti hwe na Luis Figo kwa no yekoye no oyi Tumi boboye ose Leo Messi kwa no senye asem na ye na nka Madrid for fan because Madrid no when they come calling say who say din ase eno chema Madrid akwa say abaiwa sono bia ne ho ofa pa nemo se oba na obeden obebisa wukuna and example na Kawoka man no obi ba example no oni asempa mu ntani ye pa o se if Madrid comes calling, it's like, a very beautiful wife, and I say a very beautiful woman like Rihanna asking your husband out. Eya na edin pa se obetumi ahwe Rihanna nim na Rihanna ye billionaire yi na ntimi bisa ayika sempa ene crucial Chaskele Ohene-Bampoe Brenya ene afei Prince Obiba Poko Brown say into Rihanna ye billionaire in the USD into Rihanna ba no si Obiba me pasa me no twempena ba bosumi mienu bosumi miensa obeji atum anasa wonji tum na senya ayika sempa show Obiba o kasa dabi ne de na emu ayede ene sama ka o kasa yemfantu je into Liverpool fan Montomobo Emma Trent and Alexander Arnold if he says Madrid boku no sa Madrid ba won chan a den so obebie wa no na wakacha don Florentino Perez sa board me nya den member enti me nyina we so na men fan sem no NC Joel Shen ena me tinemu edema don Kwaku answer Albright who do dance man your friend of dance man CR7 eno ena ABA tina Albright baba no den sem no so abeto am so my sorry so na abeje for empapa 7
Stronger brand you can trust. Polytank, we get some more Rambo and get some more super. And the Polytank, we get Polytank. Papa no Ankasa. Polytank, the original, always the best.
Etoda, wo kontimi do champagne pa, nanso wusike kura wo no. Na ye juice ene betumi ato. So, so pese wo kura mre kura sika. Na udwumadi a wudie, wonu ma wonim dwumadie no. Etimi dima wo ewo bra bode emfidie a esefata edi dwumane dia. Ene ha ho kura. Izanze E-Productions. Ya be sort you out. Frey. So open studio and production equipment rental. Emfidie a ye di twa sene ahodo nyina no. Ye betumi dibia famo. Corporate and social videography. Se wo do dwumabie a wo pese otwe egun homa so. Frey. TV commercials, se wo ton wo niema na pese amanfo ehunu e wa kasamfoni so. Frey. Documentaries, frey. Photography, any live streaming, se wo twamfoni kama pa. Anaze wo di dwumabie na pese brekro no mu a obi biara etimi hunu. Frey. Waya nyom na pese oya nyom no ho akasamfoni a. Frey. Jingle, IVR, any voiceover production, Frey, short and long film, Frey. Your telephone humanie 0242 755 323. Ana 0302 254 858. Ana se hwe chira kwan. Ye wo Asylum Down, ye ben Happy 98.9 FM. E-Productions, capture the moment.
Eraso se maimun sam ahoro nyina no yetimi erebram dodo na ena etwa gura so no se yefo baako mienu na fei yetimi sam no yere ebra kama pa ensam no dewa na so no mienu miensa bi ena se ba Abdulsalam Yakubu akasafa ana 20 free mu no eho ene kwan ese nkanema esi ekọ yere wonsam etimi eba ewodwumadi we se so fei sports minister so say sports fan na ya cha no ye aben emunchemu ene ahoro ewa ha na afi so no ene ya na 17 no se ede ena efiri oba ni nyina no ye de bewuram na afi wahu se de esi ekọ ewo ye man mu nsam ahoro ba ma menka wo na channel so na tie ne tie se eye high sense ena etimi aboa ama enema nyina ewie pe high sense de wabo aboso anase wabo aboso aboetam etam ne dantan so no yɛden a eniema ehyehyem pa eno nti na make for the amount say enei say wo fridge papa ebetia boa na eye slick eye do a ubiem so emu ye bagayambo yiri pa ya wo niema te se de kura pese wo de hyemu a ba che obetiri ahyem de a na wakai say eye high sense eye fridge a se de aba edwa so no eno ada ada so e fridge nyina no kura sam say esai bluffing no kura sam say esai hyewo dem an prepare de ababa wa ne wakode nkuwa no wura pa otimi se niema koye papa ne do no se de sie slick kura no ebetia mo ani age na wahwe se enei bibia so atimi akonkan me pa che but one de two na mo kom mia a waso ye ni nyina ewo kai ne chele so se enkan ha bacho na na afen so etama call 21 25 ne committee 1 and we chere no so no mpacha okopie mu awo wesel small wetie huomo and afei ukọ dan so ma ni nyina so wetimi ahuomo no chere no kai ne chele so du kumase city mall kumase adum kumase ahimbro no mu ha na eno ewo ba bia ye fro watafo and afei tano so no wetimi ahuomo afei okopie mu ewo sunyan ne empo no me pacha okopie mu nso ewo tamale ni nyina no onsa ebetia ka omo kama pa ba bia bo wade ne tu anamo high sense there oniama nso no ade a omadwene ho nti bibia etimi wo fom pa to anamo ko na eniema etimi enwie peye ewo ehonom na eneyi free sam no ase ne yama mu nsam na se dia mi frase area free sports and recreation minister asye na ora I friend Kofi Adams honorable or in some period me amba to Ghana watchim chase woje tumi ye pass se de eniema esi aircon Ghana hienska ewo yan sports mu e na afen so dwumadi ye di nyina sa agodie mu nsam no edu ba bia ya na sikasam wa ye de enti no they say the sports fund na amanfo ehwehwe animu na no enche eniema ebekonkan ma motu anamon a epimben so na ekọ akiriti bomaden na enei tiep se ekọ no na ye ekọ yanimi no ochemu chese se de enche eden a sports fund no ombe establish.
The ministry have engaged with many of you on the matter of a sports fund, and we are inching close to getting that really done. And I believe that when it is done, it will reduce some of the situations where we only give you spiritual support and spiritual backing without the necessary financial backing. We can then move. We back you spiritually, and we back you with what it takes to participate. And again, sports, you can't say today I don't have money, so I'm not going. And that it is tomorrow or tomorrow next that I will get money. By the time you get your money, the competition is over and everybody is gone. So we must always look for the money to be able to, because you alone cannot organize your competition. You have to compete with others. And so when the time comes, we would want everybody, the media, those of us in leadership, those who love the sports, get involved. For all of us to mobilize.
And someone, sports and recreation minister, Ura Kofi Adams said to me at the 2 jar, and I don't pay yet for happy 98.9. So it's me at my yard too, and a more concern for from no. Na ene ukokopiemu ewo eye Ghana Football Association na kasasya Black Starlet no omo ato omo nsa ede afre eye players makuma kwa aduanan baako ya ene omo represent Southern Zone ewo ehonoma omo nso no eba be jam na afre under 17 yetimi asem atwetwe tonto ewo saa mrantie no so ne yahwe se omo betimi enya bi ana saa Southern Zone no wonim se a comprising of Eastern, Greater Accra, Volta and afre Western region players are omo etimi a selecting nyina kama pa nipa mrantie mako eye aduanan baako ne de wato onsa from omo call Ghana Man Soccer Center of Excellence now from etimi akwatwetwe omo so tonto ana mrantie no omo etimi yim ti wo hwe se de si down na dodo na ena etimi ewo ho a ni nyina so no etimi ebasisi a metimi ede ato aha etimi ede amaw na yenko na fe yenko wuramu Abdul Salam Yakubu eye nipa baako a waye eye football achepa ewo Ghana nu adu biase yenko ko a ono ena bankroller na president Nsempi etimi atudwa efa under 20 team no ho I don't know what you say. Under 20, serious city selection of under 20 players. No, official and can see the local teams. Na kaumunya akwenya. No mutimi edi sa selection in na eba. Na kwaya local players nkwa na komusunya akwenya kudua. Omubetimi enyeska edi efri omuna so na kamia say de bia ya manane players ya no makwa akofo ba. Ono de osi selection of players for under 20 no. Dodo na esi ehun say omo clubs na omo teams no. Omo ewo under 20 woman kometimi aye.
The selection of the players, but in for the right players. Like I say, Premier, Obiama best two, the players almost fall into that criteria. And it's a mere the best football business, the best player too. But no matter Premier 4, Division 1, Munina. I am one selected good player. You strong team. There is Yatuanian and one say, your friend at 20 list in the crowd, who man, what we list, who say, Yakova foreigners in one level. This was in I can change your lifestyle with attitude. Now you're making him right.
We some president, no Adubiasi Yakoko team no, Ora Abdul Salam Yakubu editu Jawiano. Wasi ne ha ba ko pa enso ne se enei se obi be ka chom se o maye teams a che sei ne se o ntimi select under 20 players every o team nim dia na yes o nim dia o yo eti se solely local players and se ura under 20 team nim
eti na me worries me Abdul Salam me under 20 me football na in years 6 years 5 years 7 years let me introduce one player Emma under 20 national under 20 Emma under 20 na say football na me for so be the same thing apply to class na kan undini obi antini under 21 player talent ni you need your Ghana. But me feel say a crown pass almost start no any criteria of the place no and no dey a part I had to say the right place I was say offer omo me nya kwan akọ abroche omo bobo abroche no omo na yasa ko form so am under 20 play what talent I play I play in the football area this year just got some why me play and under 20 no yeah and also they make me appreciate maybe appreciate my turn na Brenya difference.
We and someone or the two ja ewo na owie no nam so papa ensem ya wo kan de emu otupa o na enim de aworo no enso edema the Ghana Football Association as omeja tum no mafa de ya adwuma no krasam se ebetimi aboa wo se enokra che na nya no nko o Black Stars no omo backbone pani under 20 na se ebehwem aka nokra pa hwemu yi a obaka ya time one under 20 over the world and I say conquer the world ora na D team nanim de dey you squad no so obaka ya sa time na jimambadu ni players no do na so kra e wo local eno na boa etimi ema yenya players a back up e de call Black Stars nim se see as obehwe pa Black Stars na ngaza team no emu odin na team na no e den ni fiwa ye e den pa national team ye under 20 nti yenhwe na edema ye bese sanne se nyema betia koya yenhwe ma best teams no and representing omo players.
Yeah, like I said, Tima, we Blaster, and then the stronger teams. Blaster, they already made players of our bigger teams. Nipa Bakuna, Omunya Kwa Blaster, Mataje local players in a Blaster bomb. Under 20, no players. Normal under 20, no. And no Emma, your leg in a bone or Ghana, Hano. Your ma team Silibi Quine, Ama, your selected from. So, over at the Mabadunu Tama. Any day I no more time. Over that time now, I'm Ecofa Cup, the World Cup Egypt. Over the man, I can say, not local players more. Yeah, the day, never say 20% pay. Foreign players, and I don't move town. Under 29 Casano, normally minimum, local players, and a form more. If local players, so I'm here. And my local teams, and it's me to Omuka a local. Your friends say, a local teams, and under 24, no, say, under 20 years successful yet to call weather. And on Emma, you say, good players at the bois, your friends say, Blaster. It is already the day I know time on Mufa, Mufa Sakafana, 2010, 2010, a World Cup, no one majority to you call, even Brazil, 2014, Milano, Satamini Milana.
And someone who Ora Abdul Salam etimi edetu eja ewo ehonom yemfa we na yenyina so na fe yemfa yema mun sam nyina amra wie na ma menka wo na chele so say high sense in o kitchen hono and I feel so ho and answer baby a person the fridge papa baby sibiano. The only brand about Pontia and yama ho den etete so pa no high sense fridge or the abaso me ha me ko twa jawaju bia e baby a we say so ne bo no eni soro sa say the obotom city bia betin atobi but modern neko East Legon Accra Tudu La Paz Bachona North Industrial Area and Afri Junction Mall Achimota Mall West Hills Mall and Afri Community 1 and Community 25 nyina mpacha hohoi Obuasima Kasim Techiman and Afri Koforia and Amepacha Okokopiem so Kumasi City Mall and Tano so na Afri Tafua onsa etimi akabi sunyan so kwa onsa ebetimi akabi 0302550000 high sense everyday prices for everyday people Ohene-Bampoe Brenya umrenie
Onuaba onuabema waware mu nsem te sen enyoma akoyi ana wo hu ano wabre ana wo ya paaba ana mpo se unnim obi a onene beka wasem ene me wasem debi ma every Saturday 12 April any Saturday bia from 6:30 p.m. ekopim 8 p.m. Shia Pastor Solomon Afari ene na pamfo a mo wonim die ewa aware mu nsem ewa Happy FM 98.9 wadi jumedia yatuni din young and married Edebrel. Get practical advice, expert guidance, and real life experiences. Ebe buao. Ama wawarie any relationship akoye. Wawarie ebe yi. Happy marriage, happy life.
And the Cretrodos here high sensor, the about chimney television, refrigerator, chest freezer, air conditioner. Now so when you say your laser TV, gas cooker, washing machine, smartphone, sound system, water dispenser, microwave, blender, rice cooker, kettle, iron, air fryer, kakrabim ponon. So to idea away ho. In few numuntem, se chima, ne free Fabra, yensi mawa, yabesa sama. Se say the high sense showrooms no, ebu organa fanenina. Into bibina opatwa, banaiko, nekojo dear, ebi one cry, tama, kumasi. Takrade, Takwa, Mankesim, Obuase, Sunyane, Techima, Tamale, Hohoi, Kofodia, a Buona da Fomboko, Edemau, Siaka High Sensor, near Tredia Echeno, dear Papano, dear Ensen in Amcanian, dear F Feno, Naya Befono, Bibina Open Chrimua, Frey, 0302 550000, and now Quabefon and Sentintanaso, Ubenya highsense.com.gh. Your Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, any YouTube or so, and also share High Sense Ghana. High Sense, the name was so be abotum, and no.
Tovila Water Solutions. Tovila Water Solutions. If in a water treatment you define it. Tovila Water Solutions. Technical support for your water systems. Tovila Water Solutions. Water research deo, training deo. Tovila Water Solutions. Water dispensers, drinking water supply. Tovila Water Solutions. They provide safe water for your homes, companies, industries, communities, government and non-governmental organizations.
When it comes to customer satisfaction and professionalism in water solutions, Tovila Water Solutions is the #1 in Ghana. You can contact us on 055-2490-864. We are located at Titegu, Accra, Ghana.
Kojo, me kojo. Agbanade. Se me fini me fi na me ya.
Okay, na no ntumi ade wa fa no ka ho asam tira no. Ne ko krom.
Neil, me that's a pass wajimre edi eyensemi abreye. Have a fabulous Wednesday.
What's the saying? Oh, say me can't how to focus on the fabulous. Who they want to say you? All right, have a fantastic day.
Have a fantastic day, bro.
Okay, bye.
Kojo, me kojo. Agbanade. Se me fini me fi na me ya.
Okay, na no ntumi ade wa fa no ka ho asam tira no. Ne ko krom.
Our entourage video so happy 98.9 FM. Nya mpanimfo abis coming so studio high nya sem ketu akra. Onim say weekend a double header and eba so ewo University of Ghana stadium hall na a weekend for women's football. Yembobo bia wo memu ha. the anyone say a ball a women's football. Now the TNA a ball FA Cup final. Enti Uba studio ha and the FA Cup trophy no. Abeka yensa o studio ha. And a face no. You ball a year the champion of champions. So say for the women's league, you ball in zonal format, southern zone and the northern zone, and they police for and a year emerge as champions of the southern zone, and Ampem Dakwan so emerge as champions of the northern zone. And in the ball Africa final new year near sign at the a year the champion of champions and so Ashisha so and we can did here the ball imagine a year who a year FA Cup champions and league champions no. And Africa are represented on my Ghana. Interestingly, very, very interesting parents and Basso in both the FA Cup final and the League Cup final. Miami Club, Azakes, for the first time in many years, we are missing in the final. In the young ball, police for Abaso, so we emerge as champions of a year, the Southern Zone. And for that, they also only day on Baba, in the Omaba, IABD, and fit ladies, and so no, are qualified for the women's FA Cup final. Jonina and Sono Cup final. Nibi into a very big weekend for women's football. But I am excited if you say menya a nip a year 7 penny for almost 2 more life in SEO for women's football. For 2 of them, they've played the game at the highest level, celebrated. But quite the way African women footballer of the year paying. Tienipa. Why African footballer of the year paying. And that back also abobo and he was a coach. I need obo women's football. Baba Koso Kahon so no ne memagron we di anymore and one of the biggest clubs in the country. Onyo ne ejuma assign a boa women's football ye into the menya mpenifo me ensa ha any supporting cast. Me nua ma no mo Matilda and Afiso. One beautiful lady. Be about football be an or she works at the FA as well. Menya ajobayo. Studio legend Akwaba. But by Mike Nkakra Mami. I was having a conversation with someone, Mra Kaf back Krumani ball schools championship no. Who near just saying I'm say Ajabayo highly respected football personality in the country. But you'll be able to retirement is saying. Say the no say afro say Yenko Hana say Unimua and sa. Are you enjoying retirement?
My retirement me person me bought me.
Wow. In players will be now retire more ceremonial games. So also body and happy if you boy ever support ma sa in Suadi Huno Abemo. Now what finalize a year month cry basso near America. And after I'm more drinking. Okay. You be doing come actually. Now I have boy bet me a boy ama ceremonial a year giving us no. About a man quite a boy and send both member and marable. Be frame. Because most of them are the Nibida. A man yani afro now could be. We say a job when born crop was in Memanibi. Anyways, you come on your video ha. Anita as you do as so becoming sa ha. Anita much be a book here. Say me chef for my players. Question back when be some one of coach no. And they want to coach as your own.
Oh, for me dear.
What you could just say? HappySports. Okay, and they wouldn't any day now. Because remember the year be so almost hey, because we are dio. Because some about my so ding, they will catch you young one and so no person the place here. Day. But before I'm batch of you ever call. Akwaba. Hey, Nancy has a jet the mum who but I mean, me has some how. You know, to ha and then man on Kwan. But some small female club.
Yes.
How is it doing? We are Division 2 FA Cup final winners. Division 1 FA Cup winners.
Yes.
And I'm qualified.
You are qualified for the
Middle League.
Yes. And you winning Gaffer FA Cup and so.
Yeah.
2 trophies in 1 season so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, easy cry.
My idea. And one of the few Premier League clubs are more female teams. And you're about for the investment I'm in female football. More idea. Hopefully, I'm going to qualify by Premier.
Definitely.
Nah. Okay, I me take size and okay, all the best to you. You're very young, brah. Yeah, football and custom. And it's at the end of what in store for your listeners and viewers on Facebook. Camp Sunday.
Action-packed day. The American say whoop ball papa sha.
Weekend kwa bo bien
Sunday mumra me hwese ne amani di agrofa. It's a beauty to behold. Into mumra me hwese ne amani di again.
And 2 games ni na ba so on the same day, same venue. Time difference in the best saying. You bought FA Cup in how many hours between bought a year the champion of champions?
FA Cup near 3 p.m.
3 p.m.
And a league near 6 p.m.
Okay. We didn't pass it penalty by maybe delay time now. I quit cheating. 2 things only packing can ha. It been confusing them. Also 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. Wow. And to me try to keep it for 3 p.m. there now. Met me that 6 p.m. there no.
Free.
Yeah, in this KBR.
Free to be
interesting.
Be excuse be
free for both games nina.
Free.
Wow. And today for mutemia Sunday games no free. Yenko yenfa ma yenfa ebusu nyina anko ne yenko have fun. Odi own support to be akwa we koreke na ekoji we ni uba studio ha office me nyina so no e wo studio but league no season no any FA Cup nina for you akose na ma.
Well, me Felice Akoye for the fact say yenya a new winner I was out in zone which say emu easy sir. Every time you the same winners ampim da kon hazakes. Yes the neutral ones no drew baby ana ya boring. So sisi ana yenya a different winner no. Suspense no ho, excitement no ho. See whether the defending champions no betimi so stay consistent and now say the new ones no be take you over into no and the money so exciting and FA Cup no cry podium no cry there new finalists
teams. New teams last year nya police ni army and a boy FA Cup final no and nya 2 different teams cry mobile
and near my FA Cup near interesting cry and say when you look at Faith Ladies League in relegation. And yet FA Cup or final. You know.
Interesting. Semi-final come Shazakis.
Yes.
And the semi-final.
Yes. I was there for that game and I mean exciting to see teams not just looking at the history of particular teams and then giving all their best to also make an impact, show a difference, no. A man here fine. Team wants to say difference about league and it's good.
Okay, remember legend. Mr. Games no should be na it was saying in terms of the development of our women's game. Mono no more boy na say any eyeball so more ball. No more sakura pitches so any more ball so TV ball natural grass so ni pair baby shani. How does it women's football ni how engineer?
Like I say,
but by Mike and Mammy.
Every say, you start to
support,
no support. But I say, baby, a quine
Emma, woman, no moody.
You know, I am the say, facilities in our astroturf now.
Yeah,
dear cool and young ones in there, but no, so no, or move. And I feel so iron who they find. Like I say, baby, of course, be okay. And now, almost bobo no so out to say, almost shiny my baby, you know. Like I say,
Now, it means Fred Black Queens. Now, say 20 and 18 foreign based players. Did you ever imagine, say, a man football a bit made to crack a bubble? Say, a man here in the 80s, I need that's you know, that's what we do.
No, many so say, sir, you being a professional, by 80, you grab 21.
Yeah.
But young time in a normal yard, but to me, me crowd, cobble, because a man call.
Yeah.
Never be brave. It's in my say, yes, say, football a developing. I'm a young man on switch me in your quanya to go outside the couple professional. You know, in I pay more. Omo mobile local no so ye pebe breed so omo betu kwan no na ye timi anya national team no solid team ye kwa ye betimi aya
me next question maybe say Anita no season akoyie no o san national team that is it reflecting any Black Queens or camp are we seeing the same quality aye pe o the year match South Africa o the year match Nigeria and the Morocco for ya be me can we compete at the highest level? But that's a conversation we will have after CADFA Cup. But the quality of no, is it encouraging? Say ne hwe mayo ne ball no mo ball na mo time no we ka say as mo de no was through and hu ni sa.
Oh, make us say won say yen time no eso no e no mo nso mo time na aso.
Omo
nso omo seso na omo nya no.
Yeah.
Nti ne make say eye. Eye bebre say omo ko omo nim. Omo hia Nigeria ni South Africa na omo betimi omo. Once omo ni ebi wo outside the ball team ni omo betimi ni omo.
But then also here to get a lot more female players because in my ball no scouting a problem. When you know ya dear crying my message there be on my name more also go school. If you are near Diana ball no almost a ball. Then also here as and your FM and then your teams no even the Ghanaian society no to get more female players.
Me catch ya mama mo na ya ofo ya papa mo say talent ni de e wo ho bebre first ni na ye ni mo ko bobo e say ko kitchen ko ye but say see ni de a develop kese nti hu say o ba bobo na o true me athlete bibia o ye bia hu say bibi papa wo no mo a hye ne nkran na ma ne empren ko ne ni me gidi say o be ko ne ni ma o de bibi papa be fie na ya o mo hye o mo nkran
and therefore shared from the administrative point of view, how difficult in a year to run the women's game? And easy. Remember, they're crying enough from now and more peculiar situations. And you bit with the radio. So, but how is it for you as a folk more in my team and running the women's league?
Okay, so what I was saying is the women's team, a bit weak. I will be say. Most of the times, okofa or ba into football. Na parents no so penisa because some of the parents believe that oba there would any efie, would any kitchen, and then other responsibilities are. Omo feel say mba penny bit to me. But when you come to football no. Tradition that is a football your bema ejuma. In such instances, no timinya players who obi crab feel say ubo football obey the day you would look like a man near the sometimes I say that's where we come in with the empathy gap because you need to understand the players how they feel. Into your mono attention usually is more than how we but a man or a woman was so convinced you or so that dog was say sure moon crying more than you even do for the men because it's as a woman bobo nibi and I know more at the end. Was say sometimes ultimately or say in a lot of ways. But I think say or more contributed to bar football or more idea, especially with the clubs, because the auto and bar players near there and yet lucrative financially. To say in Mema auto and Bema.
Yeah, Champions League my player edge go queen. Edge player of the tournament. Team B Troyes Open or sub my 2,000 euros. And I'm a friend parents and I said we could me everything to play I know to and come and about you. You can imagine top player what just come young player of the year. Not open I say 2,000 euros. It's so depressing.
Yes. And I won't say so you need so more.
Absolutely.
More and my teams more bread.
Yeah.
And in fact, on my idea, and then I would even commend GFA, so because this time around, Oma improving in my football in a way I attractive than before. Until say, convince you or be back, so or member ball crampona. It's a bit
easier than
because football, women football is exposed now. Into all the companion, unya data and other things are ultimately convincing mommy and as a papa and say obana yes or say and yes or say bema. You can give a lot of examples to that. Into I think say so far so good. Ghana idea with bar football so say we are able to educate a lot of people and also to make it easier. And if we can even get sponsorship.
Corporate Ghana.
Yes, we can get sponsorship for Imba football now. It's a long way to help the clubs because Semeton Bema player, and I can make more money. I don't know for a player means me a lot of money, and then I will still be spending on her. You understand?
The sad thing is that a lot of the players can go for free because we are a club, But 2 years opportunity about for you to make some dollars. As a club, you can't say my player no. So a lot of the teams allow players to go not because pay and I say film, but they look at the future of the player as well.
Yes.
So when they call take it at least you put me fee that it's better than playing here.
Yes.
So for clubs in the I think that one of the issues also is how the Ghanaian public be accepting women's football. And they go Europa, they are breaking records, they are filling stadiums, they are watching games. And I say the Champions League, semi-final, Barcelona and Chelsea, Arsenal and Real Madrid, Arsenal and Lyon, and we are guaranteed that Barcelona, Arsenal, nipa beba but part we as a attendance improve. What can we do to convince football say women's football has something in store for us?
I think a major part of the cause of this is culture. Senior my sisters needing kind no. You say first no, you say obade ne de ani fie, ne de ani kitchen. Nti afei na education ni exposure no ema awofo ni the general public no omadwen esisa kakra enne omo say football is not just baby for fun, a hobby, but it's business.
It's a means of livelihood for a lot of people as well.
Yes. And I believe say with the players now getting into foreign clubs near the and also a bigger exposure. And you know, say we must do more of those things. And some of Black Queens players, when they come down, they visit their alma maters, they visit their towns where they grew up and stuff like that. And it's like evidence, clear evidence, what you say, a living testimony of what we've been talking about. Nipa no wabo, we do a now you can see the person. Obi wawati, but onye huye. It is good, say, efena boa bebre, ewo mabom. Like you said, yen abobia, me say, if not me ba into management, bebre kra me because your time no. We didn't have all this social media, TV.
The game was not on TV.
Just say obi into see nimu personally say obobo obi nimu. It is only maybe your area, but then internet, any TV, ni other media, you know. So we need to do more of those. Nayema nipa entiasie say yes, a member ne start here, but man so catch up. Even in Europe, it wasn't like this.
That,
But omo investing more into all these adverts, all these sort of educational and money idea, and that is what we can also do. Nan info no enko echire nan krofo, and then even when we have players coming down, you have people coming around, coming to see them and stuff like that. And no nebema ebe create that atmosphere no nienya. Various stadiums no filled up and in your account. So I believe say that is the main thing that we need to do.
Legend, what do you home in terms of nipa ebe share in my football?
Yeah, me catch Ghana for nyina say match ni Sunday. Into the game be ni ho. Yeah, me for more market. Na market the Obiambra Stadium one feel ho nyina. And I only baby ako, baby cocrana, would you bra park and also your point? Now I could you in it. And he'll be our practice.
Legend of job I any casino see he'll be our park and so board yet unimbopa. Or Bobby super papa. A kind ma or my back room on boa a job by you. Necessarily yenye be, but hopefully be saying you be soon and check. Mami, embisa we share some other games. I say, ne Europeans. And you can also answer this as well. Any Europeans, and I say, Gabno, Kesiana, in terms of players, Nankasa, dear na media come bob on hona, ye close Gabno in terms of quality, no, and the action. And I before the no, I say it is getting close to the men's game in terms of movement, kick. BBM no, they are improving. Make the BBM customer say no in the power. We need scaffold kasa no until they are investing. Yes, we are investing. But how can we catch up in terms of quality, no? Legend.
I say, yeah, can be. Say, say a benya and perform best support.
Yeah.
And with players, so to the boy have your problem or players, who kakra. We see waited 20 years. I was so called Tima. Ubenya says, Kabe will be waited 20 years. Or so or kobo no disika. Udiskate here, undu
level, no.
I was say, oh, pray say, me per se me aiming high. Me bo echo, me be a dachi be me bo Chelsea ladies, and Barcelona, and I say we. Until udiskate here, one shall obey any answer, obey.
Okay.
Until to make per se me chomus, omunya butche. Send no masha enka kranka. Scanny dear beba. To munya butche, a person kobo team a casinibi. Now you say for the first time, Ghana, I will be at me a couple Chelsea and I say Barcelona, any veggie.
Fantastic. Anita, how do you become?
Yeah, me for any all kind of so be and
more rushing to decisions.
Yeah, I think it is not only the players. More players ne home so come.
Yeah.
Because sometimes more players no. Share sika ebia or benya. But as a young player, the main concern should be the development. Enye sika. So develop year sika nankasa be chesu. I always say ye juma no ebedru baby no sika na beta o you would not have to chase the money.
True.
But you started very young. Ube you 17 player, maybe wedi 18, you 20. Na obeko club obenye bi
abono improving
challenging kakra no ohwe bebi asika wo ebi a level no kra endru ho into be foreign based player oba down o compare ni performance
tama na o ha no ansa o ko no
say ubon say obekọ aba no ehwie kra etoro bi kra ubon say even the local player kra
yeah the same
yes meanwhile more facilities no and some of them too are lazy so wakoba bi sa kra na you can add up to niamo ye wo ho no. But they always want to be in their comfort zone. And to succeed, you can't succeed in comfort. Jose will go the extra mile. So they should look at development first. Munko clubs are mobenye biabo first of all, because more playing time helps you to improve. Aside that, club are enye for too much, and also enye din too much. Because if the level is too high, you become frustrated. Into your club, ebetimi push you more, and then a club or a league that is exposed, baby so you look at all these things. There was so much checking when in a office bar, half time. If unya nima seek support, seek help from Obia, unim the European market. Known to me, the pros and the cons of whichever club are okay. No, or they are total sani awotie. No wetimi a guide us. Okay, with the 3 options or 4 options now we nyano. Okoha, these are ups and downs. Neha. Then you compare. Inti mo form when into sika. E won't say yes. Obi a peska onchero hodie. But ube diskanechi, and then you end up getting stuck. Bebre akobe bi a who say it was a bad idea. But what's my contract anyway? You have to stay and suffer through a contract time. Until I think say amunya botre no mun share development ahead of sika. Ye peska die but
a key point but development no here since sika no immediately. Sika no better imagine one of na embebium. If say when to me meet standards no. But you know who now develop na a year scanner ebeba. Me play be frame from Sweden. I say I want woman hold into Obaga and say unim now frame it. Enemy this uncle na.
Yes,
we are mayor woro. O show okro so pa ene bre entra o shunu musa do so kora be do the brother entra musa. Free one frame be na that's right. Next time. E me for wait a minute must say. Enti sense su bi Sunday. First game 3 p.m. and FA Cup and a league final no 6 p.m. Ye njiska into bia eden etimi ba Lagos Sports Stadium Inti we dem asumwa legend say obo ho. Okay. Voilà, macho obo. Anita obo. Okay, and the back. And then must say we from the women's football desk. Okay, for so do we come.
Brenya, before you be kono. Yeah. Person ka yeda your sponsors ase.
Kinda ho.
Perla mineral water. Omo sponsor yensuo for the day.
Nsuo here pa.
Omo say pan say omo hu ye hia de a omo be mu to support us. Apart from that, bet power.
Okay.
Usually nanka omo winning local
room bonus.
Omo say omo double no.
For the final.
Yes.
Okay.
And even with the women's Premier League, so omo winners no. Anka usually omo sponsor omo kan.
The local room fan omo say FA Cup kwa.
But this time omo they can one man ba no.
Oh, okay. Nice. And they will pay for both the FA Cup final and also the league final, the winners, no.
Yes, and then no cry double. Yeah, the single one usually they double.
And yeah, bless you, did you? Wow. And the Pella for providing water and our face, bet power for the local room bonus, for the winners, Malta Guinness and sponsor the Iman League, But for them, I say for the dedication to promote women's football, yes, your doors are open every time, every day. Any day for the promotion of women's football. I must say, now if you send out massive for the energy on that women's football, pa. Hopefully, corporate Ghana will respond. That's the only low side in our society. Will be corporate Ghana and respond. And baby, if you need to say say women driven and you put that in towards the FA, saying support it. Women see you one company saying come over and can finance you so now and see Koree. I hear the oka enka. Miss Manoso, I hear the America. Madam, I say, legend, it's good to see you always. I drop by your Ebesai, Anita Redu, also born while Bobby Papa, and one of the finest women coaches in Ghana. Black Queens, Ekoye, 20, Camp Ekoye. Fantastic. But my idea say more Camp Yama girls, and especially for the ones locally. Once a foreign based place, need to be so join it. Very, very well. Coach, what we do for Bengu Accra. All right, that must say. Asia Sunday, University of Ghana, Legon. Oh, phone out of Prince, but you phone my legend. Hey, legend phone out of no. You man, now. You try my best here.
I've made quite
HappySports, le meilleur. HappySports, supérieur. HappySports, exceptionnel. HappySports, numéro
1. Onuaba, onuabema. Waware mu nsɛm te sɛn. Ennyoma akɔ yie. Ana wo hu hu ano. Wabrɛ. Ana wo yɛ apaaba. Ana mpo sɛ unnim obi a one ne bɛka wo asɛm. Ɛne me wa asɛm de bi ma wo. Every Saturday, 12 April, any Saturday bia from 6:30 p.m. Ekopim 8 p.m. Shia Pastor Solomon Afari. Ene na pamfo a mu wonim die ewa aware mu nsem ewa Happy FM 98.9 a wadi dwumedie a yatu ne din Young and Married Edebrel. Get practical advice, expert guidance and real life experiences. Ebe boa ama waware any relationship akoye waware ebe yi. Happy marriage, happy life.
And no credit those here high sensor, the about chimney television, refrigerator, chest freezer, air conditioner. Now so unim say your laser TV, gas cooker, washing machine, smartphone, sound system, water dispenser, microwave, blender, rice cooker, kettle, iron, air fryer, kakrebim ponon. So to idea away ho, in few numuntem, se hunchima, ne free ania, fabra, yensia mawa, yabesa sama. Se say so the high sense showrooms no, ebu organa fanenina, into bibina opatwa, banaiko, nekojo dear, ebi one cry, tama, kumasi. Takrade, Takwa, Mankesim, Obuase, Sunyane, Techima, Tamale, Hoy, Kofodia, a bonnet da phone boko at the mouth. sɛ yɛka high sense a ne yɛkyerɛ deɛ ɛkyɛ no deɛ ɛyɛ papa no deɛ ɛnsɛe nyinam kanea no deɛ ɛɛfɛ no na ɛyɛ abɛɛfo no biribi na wopɛ nkyerɛmu a frɛ yɛn 0302 550000 anaa kɔ abɛɛfo anansententaa no so wobɛnya highsense.com.gh yɛwɔ Facebook, Instagram, Twitter ɛne YouTube so ɛno so hwehwɛ High Sense Ghana. High Sense deɛ ne boɔ so obi abɔtɔm ɛno no.
Tovila Water Solutions. Tovila Water Solutions. If na water treatment you define it. Tovila Water Solutions. Technical support for your water systems. Tovila Water Solutions. Water research deo, training deo. Tovila Water Solutions. Water dispensers, drinking water supply. Tovila Water Solutions. They provide safe water for your homes, companies, industries, communities, government and non-governmental organizations.
When it comes to customer satisfaction and professionalism in water solutions, Tovila Water Solutions is the #1 in Ghana. You can contact us on 055 24 90 864. We are located at Titegu, Accra, Ghana.
Happy Sports, le meilleur. Happy Sports, supérieur. Happy Sports, exceptionnel. Happy Sports, numéro 1.
All right, you're in touch with so Happy 98.9 FM. Gone by the women's football weekend. Double header, University of Ghana, Legon. You about FA Cup final, you had the league final, not so Asia. So, for the first time, Hazaka Sintim do final any police for female team. No, solid season omenya this year. And the Omoko final, Omni Ampendakwane Ebo. Jonina and I face Ukrano, Faith relegated here, Benny, Ombo FA Cup final.
I think the management of Hazakes must be sanctioned heavily, must be severely punished. They must be
punished.
Punished, yes, severely for where the dereliction of duty.
Hey, sir.
Yes, because it is unconscionable. Unconscionable for Hazakes ladies to be out of both the FA Cup and the Champions of Champions. It is unacceptable.
Topless for the first time in many years.
Yes. I think they failed woefully, and they must be. Who are? Which one am I?
Me can't be.
Me body.
Me say me can't be.
Me see. Can you give me?
Me say me can't be.
What's Okahubi? Okay.
Can I give you what?
What's the name of the management team of the
president? NNB Eisen.
Okay, he must be sanctioned.
CEO. Evelyn Siasa.
She must be sanctioned.
Commercial and branch manager, Ohene-Bampoe Brenya.
He must be sanctioned severely.
Club administrator, Henry Bright.
He must be sanctioned.
Communication school, Bibia Kofi Sika.
Oh, okay. They must all be sanctioned. Punitive measures must be.
Okay,
yes. Because when
so we are saying
say you bought a man football. No, you
FA Cup and the finals and Hazakes is missing out on both of them. Do you know why we need Hazakes? Because Omunomo to me pulled the crowd that we need for this final. Yeah. The last one was in June last year. If I remember clearly. Yeah. I remember because that the one
Hillary
no, I like.
And yes.
Yeah.
Even in Sobi Tony in the Moa Kupiemu Osu.
Yeah. And so it is unconscionable. But we will be there in which ways. With or without Hazakes, we will be there. They failed woefully. The management, say you reprimand them heavily. Say almost what have you heard? Your friend is saying,
Hey, Escobar.
Escobar, I have to go and look for Escobar. I don't go to share Escobar now or dealing with the management of Hazakes.
Escobar.
Because look, Asempa, we then see a
Jonina and a
football fiesta.
Fair ladies, they be relegated. But what happened to Berry ladies? What happened to them? The last season they were competing strongly.
A lot of factors.
Combination.
I'm told say Bankroll and Bayern. Some of the players who say
Ebe affect you.
Ebe affect you. Nti omu free club ni.
Oh no.
Nti ya ye coach. Oh, Coach Eric.
Eric.
Last hour.
Oh, sir.
Recruit players be crab mom to the ball league in the
Oh.
No munya players come from ball league.
No players in Jacko Trafi.
No Jacko Trafi.
Oh, so
no
sad.
So sad.
So
crab
sad.
and all compete with Azakes ladies for
Ah.
top on the Snowy now. They couldn't even raise the team.
Oh.
If you on back economy be 12.
Ah.
If you are one match crowd, you economy 8.
Oh, one goalkeeper 7 players.
Yeah. It's difficult for them, but hopefully they will resolve their issues and come back. Because we need such teams in the women's.
Oh, sure.
But I'm going to many Didi Dramani in Nkomo Emra. Nkomo basically on the under-20 youth football, how we can keep the conveyor belt going, and how we can also get some of these qualities to play for senior national team. Coach, good morning.
Good morning.
Coach, me catch you. Facha me pa. Me say last time we share Legon.
Yes.
But where they didn't come up. First of all, your views on the performance of the under-20 team. They do quarter-final, me and quarter for the semi-final of the African Youth Championship.
Yeah, I think it's very important that Obia Ajune Ewo under 20 no to the if you must say golden generation.
Yeah.
Let's just say under 20 no it's a very prime youth age where players who get to that phase, get the opportunity of getting into first team squads. Because a first team squad, not necessarily in the senior national team, but also necessarily on the part of club elite levels, Premiership, First Divisions, and playing the Champions League and other things. Into a group be almost somewhat say every time we want to pay attention to that squad, and more especially how we have to think about the opportunities we create in terms of their competition structure, in terms of giving them that consistency in how they can improve before they develop. Many times we are talking about development, but we are not talking about how we can give them the opportunity to improve in different aspects of their game. And for me, the interesting part is that many of these boys have had the opportunity of being together for at least close to 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
And not necessarily just these 23 players, but there are over 200 players that had the opportunity of coming to the base of the under-20s. It means that at least they have the opportunity of being together. And at some point of their development, they will meet again.
Yeah.
And that's the transition.
Yeah. But how crucial is that youth group, in the development of a player who want to play at the very highest level, the 8th category, 20? How crucial is it?
Okay. The most important part of it is that let's look at football as a very complex sport. And also, we're looking at the level that we want to take away the complexity and the coincidences. And that is why we want to keep a clear structure. And that's why, there were positions of scouting events, screening, and then trying to get them together and also putting them into the database. So the key aspect is that, or the crucial moment of them is that we were able to identify these players. So when you identify them, maybe some will be in House of Folk, Kotoko, Olympics, the Youngsters, Northern City, or whatever. But at least once they are captured in the database, then occasionally when you are looking for under 19 players, you have the category. When you are looking for under 21, you have the category. When you are looking for the 21s, you have the category. 23, you have the category. That is the crucial moment. But when you lose the chance of identifying them, then it becomes a problem. But once they have been identified and then a database has been accumulated into a box, then it is possible that some of them will come immediate, like a free.
Jerry Free,
I spotted him during some games when they played in Medina, and then Miss Bao, I spotted him also. Aaron also I spotted him. Aaron had the chance of being with the under 23s, so he's an elite person. So the next phase he's looking for is under 23 or the blasters. So you chalk on the experiences of these situations to groom the group. And so that is a crucial moment in terms of this development.
And for the history I thought I said, sometimes when we fail to make the World Cup at the 20 level,
come on. It's not the end of the world. Honestly, in my opinion, in my little experience and the knowledge in terms of development, it is not about the winning. The winning is just a part of motivation that we get. The winning is just part of, but we need to get them into the processes of winning, not advocating for winning, but the processes of winning, so that when they get to this point, all that they need is opportunities.
Yeah.
The opportunities to trade, to get that exposure, and that's why in my earlier talk I spoke about what competition structure. They had the chance of playing in the All African Games. They had the chance of playing the WAFU. Now they had the chance of playing the AFCON, under 20, and then they have the chance of they didn't have the chance of going to the World Cup. It's also part of learning. Sometimes losing is also part of learning from coach's point of view and from players' point of view. And because you can never have that experience if you didn't participate. They know what it takes when you get to that stage. Some of them might be lucky to come back again. Others will be lucky to go to the U23, and that one will lead them into the future.
There's a school of thought I believe is a majority of the progress depends on the players. As someone who's worked with a lot of young players, what should the players be doing so that potentially they get to the highest level?
When we do that, we are getting it wrong. Yeah, they can only thrive when they have an enabling environment.
Yeah.
The enabling environment is that we have the chance of putting them together, and then they have the chance coming under very top level coaches. We had Aziz also coming out from Barcelona, others coming from other places. They also have various experiences. Some of them actually had the chance of being with us at the Galaxies level. It is also a chunk of experience, and these ones you shouldn't underestimate. What it takes. It's very important that you need to appreciate that it gives them a lot of football knowledge, and they learn not only on the pitch. They also learn from each other. They also learn from structures of different situations. They learn from the games that they play. Their understanding and education is so important, and that is what we should be thinking. All that the national team is doing is that club level should replicate this and then try to infuse these attributes into their structures. That is how our football can thrive at the top level.
Very well, very well. But let's also talk about Ofe or a coach. Sometimes as a manager, you can do all that within you to get the best results. And what happens to your psyche, your mentality, and even the willingness to even work?
Okay, that is why I said football has to be player-centered. The players give coaches opportunities to continuously educate themselves, to continuously get themselves the culture of understanding how it looks like being in a defeat, how it feels like being in moments of success. You have all these ones happening and that's why I said the sport itself is complex, but we try to take out the complexity and the coincidences, and that is why we need to try as much as possible to educate our players and educate ourselves in terms of our cognitive adherence, in terms of how to solve problems, how to make right decisions, how to have pattern recognition, how to have awareness and attention, how to have perception and anticipation, how to have memory and stay resilient. So as coaches, we need to also, if we are trying to help players to become cognitively imbibed in this aspect, we also have to train ourselves to stay resilient. There will be times when you think that we are the best side, but you didn't win. Losing is part of the sport. Losing is part of it, and losing is part of our education as coaches and as players. But we need to let the sport be more player-centered. Then that will push you to go to the next phase. So I think that the coach has to brace enough to know that yes, my consolation is that I brought up players who are likely to move to their next phase of their development. That should be your trump card.
Sure. I'm sure so Tia, you take some wisdom from what you are saying. Again, one of the major things we've notified or talked about or this show is our mentality when it comes to penalty kick. Can it ever change?
One moment, if you ask them, they will tell you that we've trained enough. If you ask them, the player who missed it, they will tell you that he's one of the best kickers. But how many best kickers of penalties have missed? Ronaldo have missed penalties at crucial moments. Messi have missed before. All the top players have missed before. Franco Baresi missed. All the top players have missed in very crucial moments. But that is just part of the sport. It's just part of it that we need to acknowledge. Irrespective of you finishing in training and you get to the game, sometimes you need a half goal, but you don't get. But, you hear people saying that, no, they have to do more finishing practices. They have to be deliberate in terms of their training sessions, in terms of finishing. Yes, but in actual sense, when you can do all these things. And in the game, it's a different temperament. In the game, it's a different atmosphere. Sometimes you hit it well and hit the goal, and then they said luck was not on your side. It's also part of it. But I would say that irrespective of how you train it, the opponent is equally training like that. And so you shouldn't say that you think that you didn't do enough penalty shootout. They change to bring in a goalkeeper for the penalty shootout. Sometimes the goalkeeper can come in and he won't even save one. It can happen. Sometimes he comes in and he saves one. They'll say, the coach made the right decision. It happens. So sometimes the coach will pick 5 players and all the players he will score. Other times he picks them and then maybe someone does not score. And it's like, okay, he should have picked this or that. It doesn't augur well. I think what is important is that we need to acknowledge that we are into development, we are into promotion of our sport, and we are into promotion and then education of our players. The state gives them the opportunity to be better educated in terms of the competition structure.
Anyway, Coach, thank you very much. But where do we go from here in terms of our youth development?
I think that the transition of these players is very important. Not only these players, remember that I said the database maybe captured more over 200 players.
Yeah.
Those over 200 players, they should never be overlooked. Anytime you are looking for, some have early ages and others had late. So in terms of their transition, they can move up. And others will also come up. Those who even didn't make up this trip. There are others who didn't make up the trip. They are all part of it. It's the database. Once you build the database, you still will have players who are coming out of the database, but they will be very, very few. But those who are in the database, when something happens, you have for a training girl, we have this player playing here. You know where they are. And occasionally, something happens, you bring them together.
Coach, Irasi, Yamishao. Coach Didi Dramani, assistant coach for the Black Stars under 23 on our coach team. Coach, under 20 and the feelings, how you in two places when you say me sabi for our national team. I think we've succeeded. Yeah. But how then do we make sure say me and Sani from this group as well?
The Benue and San also must work extremely hard with their clubs and ensure that Ometimi keep form key because if you are not in form, it's not about
the
you
first
being
one
not guarantee you.
Sure.
Because we always make reference to your previous under 20 teams, somewhere at the end World Cups and how they've translated into the senior national team and have helped us. A typical example, the 2001 squad, they always make mention of players with the John Pinto, Adokwe Papo, John Mensah, Michael Essien, Sule Muntari, the Barting, Razak Pempong, John Mensah. We make mention of these players. But fact of the matter is that there were other members of that squad who made an opportunity to play for the Black Stars.
And now here we saw career progression. They were very competitive wherever they went.
Exactly. So they were part of these players. We are not Musukanwa, who to win your opportunity, and the Black Stars team. Same with the DDIU squad.
So for instance, the player like Asamoah never played for under 17, never played for under 20. Because no break it through our national team Black Stars.
Yes.
And because one more team into own friend Black Stars and
Exactly. So For me, it's about the performance we put here because the day Ayu squad, for instance. Now the day Ayu himself, Inkum, and then Ajamidu had already played for the Black Stars before Amoko at 20. But then they also had players like Jonathan Mensah, Goodpa Danleji, and Eddie Yamo also coming to join the Black Stars based on their performance. Amu put it up at the World Cup. And even Eddie Yamo put it after the World Cup, he got a bad deal.
Good deal, that's a bad deal.
Bad deal.
AC Milan.
Yes. It was bad because he didn't progress his career.
Real Madrid.
Real Madrid.
Same thing.
He didn't progress his career. Into bad choices. And they affected Omo. So, for me, the players there, it's always a hope, say, I'll make you progress after the Black Stars. But it is not a given. It's not a guarantee, say, because of that 20, you know. Chinchinanchi, I'll say a flow. I was say, oh, my performance, no, Eddie. Because you can't tell me, say, there's this boy, our boy Atlanta, our share go, a winner for them over the weekend. Sulemana. He's 21. Some of you have almost 20. So I would say more in the same age bracket. You can't tell me that if I hold me for the now born at 20 we are.
No,
prepositioner. Because you're from Unjano. Because I'm born in the previous at 20. But because
but could be based on principle of friend 20 player. Because Obi our tournament experience.
Yes.
National team experience now there. In the edge Suleiman no bet.
It will be difficult
performance.
No, it will be difficult when Suleiman is playing for Atalanta and is playing well. The coach can decide to be at the same level. If Mbo at the same level, they are just like a friend. Friend can say me. Say me coach na me Jessica Krana. Make sure say jump into boat two. Kofi Apia boat two. Mo nya mo ya de. Me jump into scan ma jump into labo. McLean.
Into no on compromise on quality.
No. If there's available scar for Mutu na metu ya, me fa de onim bono. Imagine scar. Me fa no mum, imagine sika no. Into mo say the team no, they are playing well.
Yeah. You can even question why he left Chaskele and
Ismailado. And Stephen
Drew. But the point is that Okoye no Okudiseke.
Yes. So you want them to have a place in Kazanso. Omobono ended. No more progression in Koyi. When the progression is in Kumoni, they didn't sleep. Omono after under 20, no one call some Kodao. The players who didn't do well, we saw where they landed. We didn't call them again.
So, for instance, the last under 20 AG Africa, Efiye Bani, Fatah Isaku, Danlad Ibrahim, any host of players. Omo now make decisions. Omo now points about Omo way. The credit to Fatah Isaku progression much more faster.
Even for 3 of them went to the World Cup.
Yes, 3 of them went to the World Cup.
3 of them went to the World Cup.
Omo World Cup. Senior World Cup.
Yes.
2022.
Yes.
World Cup.
So anya hwe kra no ye nyamu miensa
no
national team ko World Cup. World Cup is the pinnacle of national team football. Enti players we best me honestly I have a different view from the general views that I've seen going around. I think that these boys are good. You see, and there's what about football. I mean, I feel that
football is
that is the sentiment. I mean,
the first
gradually,
gradually,
me, I'll try. Some more women at this place because you can't tell me that Arsenal any Inter Milan it was San Siro. You bought 65%. You bought 13 corners with Nyabako Kra. You bought 11 shots on target. 11 shots on target too. On target. Or no, only one shot on target. No penalty. You know they share 1-0. Now Black James say tactically, they were brilliant. Tactically, that is the reason that they won. Now you're the tactical. No.
And we say into the movie.
Entire dominant. But needs to see sometimes football and Kanokre. Let's be sincere.
Sometimes I think we lose sight of that side of football. That you can do everything right, but still not get results.
Yes. It happens in games. And
even in tournaments, you can do everything right.
But be Ghana, Uruguay. Ghana, Uruguay. What? Even that ball now,
at the header now, sorry,
Steve ball left. And but what? Sometimes it does. It's just not fair.
So you just have to accept say your uncle ye lose.
Mama, for example, Ghana and Brazil, 2009 final. The 90 minutes.
Ball, no need to see me. Only the ball no buru yankasa.
Ball to be called line is not born after line so.
Yanko say your first penalty. O ma me ball last three.
And
last three ni only ball no buru yankasa.
See, no, o dey make regulation time no. Ball no. Omo dey bro ye anka. Alanka deck ball. The ball just refused to enter the net. So on that day, who Ernest Ghanaian na, who make us a tactical we be them maybe a penalty, you know, the boys had the mentality and they were able to hold the Brazilians. But chances of munya ye boko run it bo akwa bo po say if akwa nechi in the PA.
Po na say na financial.
Ohene, so I mean Ghanaian, that's why I'm using that example. See a winning trophy no. We always set about it. But that game, for instance, we were utterly dominated. Ghana ni Brazil, 1997 final. When they share who 2-0, I bet it 2-2 no. Ronaldinho mo dey near.
99.
Ronaldinho 99. So Egypt 97.
Egypt.
99 New Zealand.
And
Egypt mo dey 99 no, New Zealand. Egypt. In am finals no. Yes. You see, Sata na umedi egu nje nechi. Ne Ronaldinho.
Gaucho.
Debi, ne Ronaldo.
Ronaldo. Say Ronaldinho is Junior Ronaldo.
Ne Ronaldo.
Ronaldinho is just the full name of Junior Ronaldo.
That is just at that time. No, Ronaldo.
No, you just say Ronaldo.
No, you Ronaldo. That is the kind of guy for us in the.
So we the onye
scout.
No, so onye scan no question ba.
Say dia, who say people. No, say am for me to question no omo nkai say you know. Enti na me dey ban. So sometimes you can play well, extremely well. You do everything right, you don't win. But then we, like Gareth Neville, move out. I say, oh, they were poor. They didn't know where. Because you lost. People will not look at. That's why I like boxing. Do you know why? Boxing is scored by every round. It's scored by a point. It is scored on 9-10. Boxing. So that's how it is scored, though. 9-10. Now, unless in one round, there will be a Pamelo, will be a one bone from in that round, maybe I knocking out. Now, 8-10. That is a complete dominant. But the boy no, when the 9-10. That's what they calculate. Into 9-10, what calculate? You are near adding up. Football is not like that. Football show. It doesn't into a wow. Obey to dominate if 12 rounds, I will dominate 7. If you dominate 7 rounds, you have won the bout. That's about boxing. But in football, in your shop, I could be kind of boy as you want. Tactically, you are poor. No matter what you did, because you tactically you are poor. They were good players in this team. I hope that you don't break them. Even break them completely. These boys, I like the Mafu, I like Suleiman, he did well, Aziz, the quality. I hope that boys will omit me up build up from the
hopefully they can develop in
I hope so. Say we number 4 no. Left center back no. Once and them should endorse now things or young apostles. I'm hoping that they will develop him. I'm shipping out in term and he should go and develop.
Prince, if I can't call line, so I'll put you from 0551563916 0555657778. Prince.
And how we move from here?
Quick one.
There are players in this team are very promising, or more promising career ahead of them. This attempt by some people say, "Na team na because you have cup now, and I see you make World Cup. You call World Cup, can win you see." But they said the Akwesi Akano. That is football for you. It's the reason why we love football.
So did we have Fefi?
Hello, good morning.
What do you got?
Yes. That's why we prepare the younger ones for the future. So every time we concentrate on the younger ones, the younger ones are those we are supposed to concentrate on. That means you are thinking of the future. But if you forget about the younger one, you don't focus on them, obviously there is no future. The reason we have problem with Blaster, it is long overdue. So that's like you are saying. And Asempa, tell him he should always come to the show because he make it very, very exciting. And this morning show, I'm very happy to be part of it, except at the history lesson you gave concerning India and Pakistan. To be honest, I really, really enjoyed that. And then concerning that player who showed his blessing, you see, we eat pepper, we eat salt, and we also eat sugar. But you cannot go do your tea that you want to drink, and you say, oh, because we eat pepper and they are going into the same stomach. So you put pepper into your tea and sugar and drink. No, it doesn't work like that. Or if you are a Rasta man and you are coming to my institution and I say, no, this is my institution, I will not accept Rasta. No court should compel me. The court should tell you that if you want to be part of that institution, go and move your Rasta and join them. Thank you very much.
Thank you too. Court Rasta in the court actually say over to me the Rasta no could be Sabatu Abdul Salam Yakubu ene wa da
pictures ne bra
happy birthday kesia pa chairman na min shira bebre na onto nkwadem emfa ema wo Abdul Salam Yakubu Sabatu the cranfo ebe da den tamafo ebe da den cranfo Fanisa any say is logo boy. Aye.
President of New Dibiasi.
President of New Dibiasi Football Club. Yo.
Next year on also neba Hadel birthday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, former captain of New Dibiasi. Onye ne ba Hadel. Mini papa.
Now, we say that's special birthday.
I say no white shoe ni white shirt.
Sir,
but
me say any birthday, but me share na answer. And then so your sweetie birthday. Yes, and then sweetie so birthday.
Oh, me abi sweetie.
Me say odi be afrefi.
We idi e ko se Peter Wadaji.
Idi e ko
Sabatu edina na wabono. Abu Salam Yakubu. We pain idi obi a me chiao. E ma o e we show awoda pa. Ono ni sam na o kan na be gina so aka in discussion bi kakra. Obi, we say adia ai ya. Said and they will share we are I see is if I place or my win more a idea nice a cabo bibri now about place baby that yeah caught and national team every juvenile players now like I say all play and count team now we are there Sabatu Mrs. Sabatu Brenya team now we are them for so many win team now no you know yeah for national 17 year fellow cup player and the 20 year fellow cup player 23 to national team yen a local team ne wa say ye group players ne a free national team no display them into kwanya na say no I say ka wo na wo bo the best name for so mo hwe achia ne buye titi no na your ba even one change you can fa play for national team we have no kai
me kai pa
one change you can for players if you I is scared to play to football to just said play to with no players I'm fan so bye
that's it. Because Prince Alex Kill there, but referee retired Alex Kill. Or say the laws of the game are the laws, but the rules are those at the FA, like Nigeria, Ghana. Okay. The clarification or the Aban or say we are using the words interchangeably. Yeah, the laws no any rules no. The frafra. But we chirimu. Mr. Odini be a referee.
Hey, and then I bomb back to back. Sano, and every. The better. I don't know what I'm trying to do.
Won't mean your Foko.
Won't
mean your Hute. Now, look, I said, so it has this often come fat. It has any Ufan fat.
I don't know how much Kotokoni, and I mean, it's a Kotokoni. Tell them a face with this of a fat. Brenya, I'm a child what you for you now. I'm saying, I'm saying about you, my papa, and we're talking today. They have a topic, papa, and I'm a try. I mean, who announced the crack? Or be Chamwa, let's me women. Would you go from Harma? What take them jab at them? Maka, what take them jab at them? Get your move. A black you, a fellow Fabu or Tom and Tariani Bidiao, Seko, so kill papa, or Bob, so soon Muda. The MTF Cup, Finano, Mineba, now or Bishia, or Sakaon, or Ba, or Bitimi, Ama, BBI, Kama. I just say to come to your hair. Which I say, and some we interview a Thursday, or Mam go interview me. Put me say, don't come in a Thursday, because you can't bring up a Ghana year intra, and I'm a and then boss year intra, and I must have been a trouble. I'm at the Bianic Ghana for a day. I can't watch him. It's a boys, you know. It's a price here, and easy, and not from everything. What I say, because grab a shop training and a pack in the boot at the end of the day. And it's money now. I did a cost. What I say, it's a person said, but if you two for a day, Abu Yakubu, my man, happy birthday. Now, I'm the Abu did birthday.
Yeah. What can I do? Mr. Did you have referee? Maso, unia be me brand ho.
Ya dear sir.
Ofro mo won is unde wa ye no.
Any pan doors nti bi bedi de dem sir.
Ayi dem ya de dem sa.
Njenye. Na so ni na we ku ba ko so kotokonti.
Kawasem yenko.
Mami chia munya na mi chia St. Solicent Enterprise or second and Ellis na mi chia kempon. So na me for we feed kakra so na mi anga family present. Sabato. Yeah. Isenya mishra nyamia hoden kwatenten ahodi wom ede ma busalam. Say radio adoma kan ho no de afeba kwa kan fi. Osi papa mu boni mo yemfa na asem di. Present ye de na sie ni kavia. Me say next season by this time na edu biase na kwa next season edu biase eba premier. We show all the best. Na me kan. Be pa chewo. Me no me nwa ye team Arsenal. Baby e kodu entuma kopie e ofa na afia ya de na afia anya de.
Oh, me make say ya de.
Oh, yeah, dear baby, I just me to know what could do. I say, yeah,
who had the team na kumuna? Yeah, the
team you call the bemu.
Place the paper, only striker. Oh, yeah, then, hey, yeah, the chairman. Na club no win stream nyina semi final ko mutre times.
Funny I said
yeah.
Wait, 86 football club na champions you Tumi ni bida na semi final ko Tumi kwa na ya de. Club no nye club o. It ye nya de. E se je tom ana 24 no ma nya de. Omo anya de ma ye ho mo se na den na de. Okodu he yes qualify for World Cup. Want to qualify for World Cup me tron ka se wa ya de. And yana monka hasin so ajeje trophy sa it is hasin to me ni bi na mamu transfer ho mo ha sa chiwai you go hasin so ya jeje ya je champions ya je den legally FA Cup bi ya je bi it na say ya nya de mamu ka se hasin nya de mamu nya se zemnika ana 24 mo anya de omno technical on top players nya omo anya de ultimate na so mo qualify for World Cup no na say na 20 World Cup you go be 4 years 5 years you to me go it is omo kwa su kwan ma me e ho mo so omo ya de okwa me so
yo. That's what me that say. Kewas my Lampard. That's a good morning, Ohene. Good morning, Miami do you. Emmanuel Emma Wole or say from the United States of Kissiman. Good morning to you all. Bad boxing referee. This is not good. Okay, so how did they get his license? Okay, all right. Fredman Blackmon say good morning. Congratulations to Asante Kotoko for yesterday's victory. Okay, all right. That's more almost any messages in now. Nyame enka mo ho na onhira mo na ontum nkwade mo emfa emma mo yevasa kesema jibo drinking water Betika also play with champions our physical happy on wheels ba Kaswa new market 30th of May into share so for my soccer bet or my soccer chance about 10 plus games or more na for 1.3 or so higher ne scan utwa say one match kwa senema wa ye bom yensa ene edi ama wo ompewe DMB ena ope ene dwumadi en esi nyame nhira nyina no nka ye ho no nto ye nkwande mo mfama ye